Folks, are you tired of people making fun of you? Is your name McKingsley Cack and the community is joking on you because you jumped over a thick engram 9 times during a raid race? Or are you just feeling unloved by the fashion community because you wear too much plaid with striped boxers? Or, even worse, do you not smell what Sunboat is cooking? We don't even know if he's cooking. We just thought we'd mention his name to see if he's paying attention. Probably not. Or perhaps the writer of this ad is just a huge dunderhead who can't write cohesive thoughts into sentences. Despite all of these shenanigans, HeShirtSheShirt.com is still your one-stop shop for amazing shirts to put over your sexy body. Not that you should cover your sexy body, but science shows that HeShirtSheShirt shirts amplify sexiness by 50 tournaments, over 87 TikTok videos. You can't argue with science. You will be blinded by science. If you do. Okay, that was bad. Stumble on over to HeShirtSheShirt.com and input the code JSGcast so you can get 10% off your order for their brand new shirt, I quote movies while forgetting their titles. The subject of said quote has no regrets but forgets questions because that happens. You want to know what the hell we're talking about? Then go check out Just Some Guardians for your listening pleasure. And please, enjoy this new episode of Just Some Guardians. Meow.
Oh, that was an especially classic ad read from Laz there.
I am so turned on right now.
Did he actually count how many TikToks I have on my account in there? That was insane. I'm going to have to check and see if he's right there. God, Jesus. Don't die.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I've still got that cough.
You're good, man. I love you. And you know what else I love? The fact that this is episode 108 of Just... episode 108.
How many episodes?
108. Not 107, Russell. Not 109. 108 episodes.
You know why 7's afraid of 9?
Why?
No. Why is 6 afraid of 7?
You suck, Russell.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Hey.
So does that mean we're on episode 109 if 7, 8, 9?
That would be 108's the last episode.
Yeah, I'm down to do that. Just
throw out 109 and have
just
people
throw out
go,
109 and just never say anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll know you listened to this
now.
episode if you don't understand the joke. Yeah. I like this. Yeah. Well, hey, everyone.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt the stream.
It's fine.
I
Russell
just saw
does it
the
all the
Dots
time.
Pretzels, the back. Is Dots Pretzels now doing like a missing persons things, like the milk carton? Because I just saw a person on the back of the...
This is Dot, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, what is
so
happening
amazing
right now? Do we need to report this? Is
Are
somebody
you enjoying
missing?
your salty snack? Also, do you know who this person is and where to find them? If not, Dog
It's
the Bounty
actually just
Hunter's
a
on the
picture of
case.
me. No.
It's just
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Someone called Dog.
He's on the job, man, and he ain't gonna stop. Well, we got a great docket here for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh.
It's
What?
me, of course, ELMMERFUDD here, hosting the night. Also joined once again. I missed you last podcast, brother.
Me?
You. It's the effervescent Russell.
Hello.
How are you, stud?
I'm doing okay. Yeah, one day at a time,
Yeah.
but I'm doing pretty good.
I'm glad, man. That does my heart great joy to hear that you're doing good.
I am so glad. I love doing your heart good.
Thanks. Yeah, I was looking, my son looked me in the eyes earlier, and he's like, Dad, I'm having a great day. And I was like, I don't care, son. How's Russell doing? And he cried, and we all laughed. You know, it was a good bonding family experience, you know, but...
He cried, we laughed. Good times were had.
The usual way things go when you want to scar your children for life and have them blame things on you later, as I tend to do. That's my mission in life.
Well, at least you have a mission.
That's true. That's true. Well, folks, it's not just us. We had We had a lot of episodes where it was just me and Russell in a row, right? And we heard the feedback. You thought it was incredible. The greatest content you've ever heard in your life, right? I understand that. And to humble ourselves, we've been bringing guests on week after week. I've been really enjoying it. It's been a while since we've done interviews, Russ. It's honestly been an absolute pleasure to do that.
1 week since you looked at me.
I don't know the words to that song, but I know that one thing you said.
I think something about 2 weeks since you said I'm sorry or something.
Chickadee China the Chinese chicken. I know that part.
Oh yeah, that's
classic.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Russ. Go ahead.
No, that was it. I was
Thank
about
you.
to apologize for disrupting your flow.
By interrupting my flow again.
Yeah.
Russ, that's classic you, I must say. Maybe I didn't miss you last episode.
Count your head.
Well, folks, we are not alone here. We are joined by an incredible human being, an absolutely inspirational, sensational hunk of glorious man flesh. If you're looking at Apex arenas and you're like, God, I wish someone did a podcast about this. God, I wish someone would put on events about this. God, I wish I could meet more people to play this wonderful game with. This is the person you need to get a hold of. And we're going to deep dive into them. And I mean deep into them. And learn all about things here. It's Hertel3k.
All 9 inches of you, right?
Well, minus about 8.5. Yeah.
Ah, well, hey.
Give or take.
Let me just bush it real quick to keep it on brand.
Yeah.
That's so cold. Guys, how are you doing today?
Wonderful, man. Russell already, set the tone and it was depressing.
Hey, you cannot beat B&L. That's my opinion. The Bare Naked Ladies. It doesn't get better as far as 90s pop music goes.
It really does.
I was born in 89, but 90s pop, that's what I grew up with. So, Russ, I appreciate the reference.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Brett and I do a lot of karaoke.
Oh, ton of karaoke.
Yes.
Yeah, nonstop.
Okay. Well, now I know this is your guys' show, but now I have to ask, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Russell, why don't you go ahead and take that one first, brother? I know you've been chomping at the bit for someone to ask that question.
Let's see. Probably. I feel like it's too cliche to say Piano Man, even though that's classic for a reason.
It's cliche, but I like it. It's a crowd pleaser.
I think I'd have to go with Carry On My Wayward Son.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Great choice. Good. A lot of range you need to have there, Russ.
Yes.
And if there is one thing that I have, it is range.
Absolutely, sir. Your ability to hit notes it's an eclectic vision.
It's inspiring, some would say.
I openly weep often at open mic nights when you arrive. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
It's however you want to take it. As for myself, I really like to show off my ability as a linguist. Doing shoutcasting, streaming, podcasting. Spend a lot of time talking. I really like to show off my ability to spew many words in one sentence. Right, as many syllables as I can in a single breath. So the Champ's Tequila is my go-to.
Yes. The Sandlot favorite, which you and I have discussed that movie before.
Yes, we have.
I'm very angry with you for our topic.
Both. I have a good reason.
I know.
Oh,
he doesn't. He's lying.
It's true.
I mean, his reason is a fallback reason, but I will accept it only because of who he is.
Hey, dude, that's
if anybody else gave me that reason, I would just defriend them instantly and block them from all forms of life.
Russell, would you want to hear a secret?
Oh. What?
I wound up on Hertel's top 3 he would go gay for them list tonight.
Oh.
He did.
I mean, you're my number 1, but, whatever.
Wow. I'm honored.
Thank you, Russell. I am
Holy
so appreciative. I am your number one to
Wait a
go
second.
gay for.
Herd, he obviously. Okay, Herd, listen
No,
here.
he looked directly
you come
at me
here
when it
onto
came to the
my
camera.
show, take my fake boyfriend from me, talk about my opinions. Who do you think you are?
I am.
Let's be honest, Brett. At this point, I'm your real boyfriend.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, we'd have what was it? If we played gay chicken, Russ, we'd be probably living together for about 8 years. We've raised 4 kids.
You're not wrong.
Before one of us was finally like, maybe I should lose.
This game has gone on too long.
It's good.
Well,
It's
we're
gone
married now.
too
Who
far.
cares?
Yes, exactly. Oh, God.
Ooh, I
Russ,
got health benefits.
I know you're out of practice, Russ, and I kind of want to put you on the spot and make you do the interview.
Oh, you do you?
I desperately do, kind of.
Is that just because you know I'm playing Valheim?
That's
So
exactly because I know you're playing a game at the same time we're podcasting.
Rude. Very
I'll
rude.
start it off, Russ. Then you can dive in with questions as you go. All right? How's that sound?
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I can do it, but I don't know if I'm gonna. What is Arena? Apex Arena.
Oh, well, hey, let me tell you, Russ. So, Apex Arenas, of course, referring to Apex Legends, is I guess you could call it a spin-off game mode. Apex
I'd say
Legends,
so,
known
yeah.
for its Battle Royale. They dropped Apex Arenas in Season 9. We are now in Season 10, where they dropped Ranked Arenas. And, basically it's 3v3, round by round. You have to win by 2 rounds. So I guess a 3-0 sweep is one option. Otherwise, you have to win by 2. But yeah, just a good pivot if you are looking to get away from all of the looting, all of the third partying, all of the just RNG, the random number generator of Battle Royale. Arenas is for you. But if you don't want to be super... Now, I've never been like an Overwatch guy, but I know
Sure.
Overwatch is an arena shooter, but it's very heavily reliant on what your team comp is and what your abilities is. And while
Right.
Apex Arenas can be that way, ultimately it just comes down to, your gun skill and your strategy, your movement, positioning, stuff like that. And so what I've gone ahead and done is I honestly was getting really bored of Apex. Potentially even making the switch over to Splitgate, which I don't know if you guys have played yet, but gives kind of that Halo vibe, that Arenas vibe. I love Splitgate, but the one thing that prevented me from switching over was Apex dropped Arenas. I went in there with a bunch of my buddies, and now we're just super addicted. So I started a podcast called Apex Arenas Meeting, also known as the AA Meeting. Hence the addicts.
Hi,
so we got
Hertel.
hi Hertel. So we got some arena holics in there. We got a phenomenal community of members. Fudd actually just helped me with our first ever community tournament in true Fudd fashion. We had a 2-hour win race as opposed to a kill race. So I guess if you want to check that out, go see Fudd's VODs on his Twitch stream. But otherwise, had a bunch of fun doing that. Lots of really hype moments, lots of great just gameplay, just constantly in your face action. And if you're interested, check out the podcast. Otherwise, you can always go check me out. Hertel3k pretty much everywhere other than Instagram, which is Apex Arenas Meeting. But that's part of the reason why I'm here is I asked Fudd to help me host a tournament. He's done a lot for me just individually, and I wanted to return the favor by making sure he got recognition on our first community tournament.
Aw. Yeah, and for anyone listening, as of time of recording, that tournament literally happened right before the podcast. So the tournament ended, everyone's hyped up, we're moving forward, we change our clothes, we get the stream going for Just Some Guardians, and we're recording a podcast. That is the mindset and the mode we're in currently. And let's take a moment we can talk about that here, right?
Sure.
So that tournament tonight, like I said, a win race. I've mentioned before, running my tournaments, it was a kill race. So it was super cool to see that difference and being able to cast over arenas. And we mentioned in the pre-show of the tournament how, like, compared to other BRs, Apex is very fast-paced. There's constantly action happening, but you can have matches where you load in to the BR, right, and like 10 squads are wiped out of the gate. You're never going to see them. You might have a few minutes where you see nothing, and it gets frustrating. But in arenas, you're just in a confined space. It's the 3v3, and it's all down to your squad versus squad action. And like we said, man, it was incredible to watch. Nonstop action. I'm surprised I still have a voice with how much we were talking tonight.
Yeah. Oh, like I gotta tell you, it was really interesting because I shoutcasted for one of your tournaments beforehand, and it was one of those things where it's you feel uncomfortable when there's silence, and I feel like that's just the way it is in real life in general. People always want to try to fill the void, and when you're casting a battle royale, there's so many moments where there's just nothing happening, and it's like, what in the world do you talk about? And with arenas, I mean, yeah, you and I would try to divert from what was happening on screen, but then we would have to just abandon whatever we were talking about because all of a sudden a fight would be happening and we would have to commentate on that fight. And it was just constant action. And it was a ton of fun, absolute blast of a 2 and basically a 2.5 hour stream.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, didn't end the way we wanted to because the one guy got knocked and decided to like check out like I don't know messages or something on his desktop, so we didn't actually get to watch the victory
Listen to this.
occur.
Russell, listeners, I have a story. Buckle up here for this, right?
Tell me the story. I'm excited for it.
So this glorious thing has occurred, right? Tournament after tournament after tournament. Somehow, the last game of the night ends up being a win. Everyone goes nuts. Chat is screaming. Us in the booth are going absolutely bonkers. It's so hype. How it happens all the time. Love to see it. We get down to the wire here in the last game of arenas here tonight, right? We're watching this team. They've gone that's a possible 9 rounds if everything goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? So they're in literally the last moment of the final round. And I threw my chair to the other side of the room. I'm pacing. I'm jumping up and down. Hertel his nipples are erect. He's weeping. His kids are making fun of him. And
yeah, my wife and kids walked in,
Yes.
which they weren't supposed to do until after 10:30 my time. And nope, they walked home 10 minutes early. So my daughter's on stream as I'm trying to shoutcast this final moment. It was ridiculous.
So we're watching the team stream, right, Russ? And the guy streaming was dead. And as the end of the match is happening, where, spoiler alert, they win, he alt-tabs to his desktop and starts messing with stuff. So no, we're on the edge of our seat. Chat's freaking out. We're all like, this is happening. The first arena tournament. Like, oh my God. Boom. Totally cucks us. We get nothing.
What a nightmare.
I'm livid.
Set you up so he can knock you down.
So he can knock you down.
Oh,
yeah. Dude.
I get knocked down, but we did not get up again because that was the last match of the night. We got knocked down.
We did not get up again. Holy shit, dude.
I feel like, that person is going to watch this later and go, oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
We gave him so much crap for
it. And in the Discord and everything. It's woo. They're not going to escape that.
No.
Is that McKingsley Cack?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got to go read this ad. Why are you saying McKingsley? Oh, he did write McKingsley Cack. You're right.
He did.
It's supposed to be MC Kingsley, and he typed it out backwards.
Oh.
Mingsley. When you said it, I was like, Mingsley Cack? What is that? I get it now. Holy shit. But yeah, Hertel. So, I'm not going to lie to you. I zoned out because I was still angry earlier.
Yes.
So you started the Arenas podcast, right? What,
yes.
If you already said this, let me know. I'm a terrible interviewer in this moment.
No, you're good.
But what caused you to want to make an arenas. Did you mention that an arenas podcast?
I half mentioned it. So okay, so
Because
basically,
you've been in the different communities for a while. Like everyone knows you in all the discords, right? You've been on other podcasts, right? For Apex and whatnot. But yeah, starting your own in that niche market.
right. So basically, I mean, started playing Apex with all of my good buddies, my in real life buddies. So essentially, the way I guess I'll just back all the way up. I used to play Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. Never was a big Black Ops fan. Played it with all of my friends, and we would have like COD nights where we would even like get together and like set up our own TVs and stuff. So it was sort of like a Halo LAN party, but we still individually played on our own Xbox and our own TV. But ultimately, as I got older, I'm in my 30s now. Everybody, got married, had kids, had a job, and they
Gave
just
up on their
couldn't
lives. Yeah,
play
yeah.
anymore. And video games has been my, I guess, outlet since as long as I can remember. Like, I have an actual video of me at 3 years old beating Super Mario Brothers, like the original Super Mario Brothers on
3?
NES. Yeah, at 3 years old.
Really?
Yeah. So fun fact about that actually is my favorite color at the time when I was a little kid was green. And so what I would actually do is I would plug in both controllers and I would kill Mario his first
You
3
could play
lives
Luigi.
and play the game as Luigi. And yeah, so I beat the game as Luigi. I am an original Luigi main.
Wow.
And that's the best part about it. So yeah, I have video proof of this. My not my godmother, but basically my mom's best friend, it was her birthday, and my dad was trying to record like a VHS tape of me singing happy birthday to her. But of course, I'm 3 years old and into my video game. So instead,
Oh, yeah,
what he did
nothing
was
matters.
just record the entire playthrough. Yeah, if I ever am able to get a hold of that video and like post online, that would be sick. But yeah, always been a video game guy, and my group of high school friends and I played Call of Duty, but then they all grew up. And so I continued to play Final Fantasy and like Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto, all of those single player games. And all of a sudden, the Battle Royale genre kind of popped up out of nowhere. And the best part about it is a particular one ended up being free, which was Fortnite. Now, let me just clarify. I absolutely despise Fortnite, but it was free, and it's really hard to convince your friends to go buy a $60, $70 game in order for us all to play together. So we used Fortnite initially as a sort of social hub where we would play together and we would suck, but it was time for us to just, talk about wives, kids, jobs, whatever, while in the midst of playing a video game. And then Respawn, who I knew and loved because of not only Call of Duty, but then Titanfall. So for those who don't know, Infinity Ward ended up becoming Respawn, who developed Titanfall, one of the greatest games of all time, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Respawn dropped Apex Legends surprise drop. And I was like, hey, guys, I know we all hate Fortnite. Let's shift over to this game. It's
New
also
free game. Yeah.
Yeah, new free game. The mechanics are much better, and so on and so forth. And so we switched over to Apex, and now like everybody's addicted. Like all of my in real life friends, we all play Apex Legends. And it started rough. Like I didn't get a positive KD until like season 6. Yeah. So it was rough. And I'll be honest, like the matchmaking was starting to get really frustrating in Battle Royale. I was constantly being matched against like Pred diamond level players because of the fact that I'm a level 500. I've invested a lot of hours and stuff into this game, but even though my stats didn't show for it, we were getting matched into really hard lobbies to the point where I wanted to sort of switch to, again, like a split gate or something like that, which is also free. But then arenas dropped. So we were like, okay, well, let's try out this arenas mode. And it was perfect because it's like, yeah, like 3 of us can drop in. We are, 1-on-1 or 3-on-3 essentially against an enemy team. We can use team communication, which is what we were really good at. And we had tremendous success in season 9. So I was like, okay, season 10's coming, ranked is about to drop. There's probably other people like me who really enjoy arenas. So let's make a podcast that discuss the tips, tricks, strategies, so on and so forth about arenas. And essentially my philosophy behind it is nobody's talking about arenas. All of the podcasts I listen to, all of the Discords I'm in, I've made really great friends, but they're all very BR focused.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, let me corner the market on this, because if it becomes a situation where, say, Apex says, hey, instead of having the ALGS, which is Battle Royale focused and they do private servers and stuff like that, if suddenly they switch to Apex and they push that in the esports realm, I'm going to be the first and only arenas podcast on the market, and suddenly I'll be flooded with people who are now interested in this particular game mode. And so right now, yeah, it's still not popular. I think only about 10% of the Apex player base plays arenas like on a hardcore level the way that I do.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, yeah, I'm the only person in that market. So if you search Apex arenas on any local podcasting, I'm the singular active podcast talking about arenas.
I actually did that today.
I don't talk BR or anything like that. Like, whenever patch notes drops, if it's, Rampart Town Takeover, it's like, yeah, I don't talk about it.
It's whatever.
That's not my realm. I'm arenas only, and we will focus on arenas only, and that's what I do. And I mean, tonight, yeah, Fudd, you and I just had a very successful shoutcast.
Absolutely.
Where we had a bunch of people watching. It was high intensity, great gameplay. And that's what arenas is to me. So for me, arenas not only saved me from having to switch games because I really enjoy Apex Legends, but it's also given my friends an opportunity to better themselves, because some of them, like my buddy Assess Bison, he's a real life guy. He's only gotten 1,000 damage once in Apex, and he's been playing for 2 years. So for those of you who play Apex, like 1,000 damage is not crazy hard to get, but like just not.
Of course.
First person shooters is not his game, but at least in Apex arenas, he can provide to the team. He mains Bloodhound, so he's like, hey, here's a scan. There's all 3 people. Go slay out on him. Whereas in Battle Royale, it's like, here's your scan. There's 3 people. Go slay out. Oh no, there's a 3rd party, and now a 4th party and a 5th party that's coming to kill us, and we can't defend ourselves. So it's even given my lesser skilled friends an opportunity to feel like they're contributing to the team. And that's what's been such a blessing with arenas, is you don't have to be good at shooters to succeed. You just have to be a good teammate.
Yeah,
and that's what I love.
It's really good practice too, because a lot of people, when you're trying to improve your gunplay, is they'll just go, all right, just drop hot, right? Drop in the middle of a bunch of other teams, grab the first gun you can.
City, all day, every day.
All day, every day. Grab the first gun you can and get in a gunfight. And the more you do that, the better you'll be, right? And arenas, like, I enjoy it. It's not something I grind out, but I use it a lot to, like, that's my warm-up area, right? Like,
yes,
all right,
exactly.
Let's get in here. We're just immediately, you're in a fight. You're using all sorts of different guns, whatever you can find. And as you go, you progress to getting, better kitted out weapons and stuff, so you can work your way up. And I've had a lot of friends play arenas that are just suddenly are a lot better at regular BR, because it's the best way. You can go into the shooting range all you want. It's not the same. Dropping hot all you want. It's high intensity and it's just a shit show, and you're not going to improve very quickly. Arenas is an incredible way to have that. And then, like you were mentioning, being the only podcast that covers it, because when it first launched, there's a lot of Apex podcasts out there. I sat down, like you mentioned, and looked up Apex Arena podcasts, Apex podcasts in general. And there's a lot of Apex podcasts out there,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is awesome.
And
to
they're
see.
all great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I found a new one today that I happened to be clicking around, and I was like, oh, I've never heard of these guys. And I clicked on it, listened to the whole episode, laughed my ass off. They have a really great show. I got to look up their name again, but I'll do that by the end of the episode. But they were like, oh, this arena thing dropped. Let's try it out. Well, I enjoyed it. That was fun. And that's about all the coverage it got mostly.
Exactly.
And if there's a player base for something, there is a desire to devour content about it. And even if it's only 10% of the people that play it, there's a lot of people that play Apex. It's a free game. If
That's
it's
my
10%,
idea.
that's still a shit ton of people that are looking for someone to go, oh, hey, this is the thing I like too. And yeah, no, it's super smart, man.
My philosophy was, and I'll give them a shout out here. So the Third Party Podcast, which is currently the #1 Apex podcast out there, Henry and Shay do a really great job. They have a very professional show.
It's too professional. Their voices are perfect.
They actually reached out to me.
Oh, really?
They did, yeah. And I actually had like an hour-long conversation with them, and they were telling me how they love the podcast, they love what I'm doing, and so on and so forth. And their biggest advice to me was essentially like, hey, like, you found a market that nobody else is touching right now. And even though it's only 10% of the player base, if you think about it, Apex has roughly, like according to Twitch, 1 million concurrent players. So if I'm getting 10% of that are playing arenas like dedicated day in, day out, that's all they play, that's 100,000 people. And if that's my starting amount,
yeah, oh yeah,
I can't ask for anything better, because yeah, you're going to drown if you try to accommodate all 1 million concurrent players at once or 10 million players worldwide. Whereas if you refocus and you say, hey, I'm going to target these 100,000 dedicated people, and if they find me and they follow me and, suddenly this thing becomes bigger than it is currently in the game, yeah, I'm the only one in there. And next thing you know, I might go from, we'll just say 100 listeners per week to suddenly 1,000 listeners per week if all of a sudden Respawn decides, hey, instead of the ALGS, let's do what I would love to see personally is Respawn to do like a March Madness, like 64 team professional bracket of like, here's Team Lulu, here's Team Noko, here's Team, Sweatband, here's Team Gaming Merchant, here's Team whatever. And they all truly battle it out in private servers to see who is the ultimate 3-stack. That would be a bunch of fun for me just as a consumer, but then I'm the singular person that would be commentating on that.
Oh yeah.
Because arenas would just be a footnote on all of the other Apex podcasts. So I really enjoyed that. But then, yeah, like I said, it's given me a place to go socialize with my friends. I've made new friends because of the AA meeting and because of just all of the Discords in general. But other people have felt the same way as me. And ultimately, yeah, it's just way more fun to play arenas as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm excited to go back to Battle Royale and see how my skills have improved. Because like you said, Fudd, you have the opportunity to either run characters that you don't normally run or run guns you don't run or strategies or whatever the case is. Like even the other day, like I was simply memeing. That's all I was doing was I'm like, hey, I'm going to play Wraith in arenas. And if you're playing Wraith, you have to play Wingman because you're a sweaty TTV Wraith. So I was doing that, and I was slaying out on people, and I'm like, oh my god, could you imagine if this transitioned into BR?
Oh, yeah.
Like that would be bonkers to have on my stream. And so yeah, like it was one of those things where I was doing portal captures and things I would never even attempt in BR. Like if I found a Wingman in BR outside of being on drop, I wouldn't run it. Like I prefer guns like the R301 and the Flatline and the Volt. But I was like, I'm a Wraith, I'm gonna run the Wingman, let's see what happens.
I have to do it, yeah.
And I dominated with it. And it was so much fun just to like mess around. And you can't do that in normal BR because you're a victim of the RNG. And yeah, when the RNG is not there, play the game however you want.
Yeah, no, absolutely, brother. And well, and another thing is, we talk about practicing gun skill and all that stuff, but I think the biggest thing that carries over into really any game, if you want to, if you want to get into arenas and whatnot, is your team's communication. Your ability to talk about what you need to do, plan in the moment, communicate where enemies are, what weapons you want to use, what strats you want to use, is something a lot of people, really struggle with. And that's a really great place to practice that. And that carries over into literally any game you play or life in general. If you can get your communication skills up where you can think quick on the moment, that helps you at your job, that helps you in your love life, that helps you in literally everything, That's one thing I've learned in my many years of so much intercourse is just...
all 10 times of intercourse.
Yeah. I have 2 kids, so it's happened at the most twice. Is being quick on your feet. To get away.
Quick is the key word there.
Quick, yeah. God damn, it's a race, and I am competitive.
You're a sprinter, not a marathoner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, even in arenas, like I'm a movement-based guy. Like, I've always been that way. I like getting up in people's faces. I like pressing the issue. But like, even in arenas, some nights I'm like, you know what? Like, let's run Watson just to see what the hell happens. And you set up fences and all this sort of stuff, and you lock down an area, and then all of a sudden you have success with it, and you're like, hey, maybe I'm a good Watson. Like, let's transition this into BR. And like,
and then you're not a good Watson.
Much fun. You're right. but that's the thing, is you get to try new things, you get to experiment, and at the same time, especially if you're playing pubs, like, yeah, nothing matters. And that's one of the biggest things that I've taken away from Apex is when I very first started playing it, I was very concerned about getting my kills, getting the win, and I have that competitive drive just in general. But what I've learned, especially with Battle Royale, as endorphin inducing as that win is, whether you're playing PUBG or Fortnite or Call of Duty, like, a win feels good. You love that winner chicken dinner, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you can have as much fun and as much success being the number 15th team on the board, like 20 out of 15, right? Or 15 out of 20. You can place 15th, but it's like, dude, if I wiped a squad by myself and got 2 knocks on another guy, but like my teammates were down, like, that is a successful match.
Oh yeah, or you finish that first fight by just punching people. You remember that? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's just part of the fun, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, Battle Royale, as much as you want to win, it's like you can have just as fun finishing in the bottom half of the groups, just by practicing your gun skill, doing your punches, and memeing on people, doing whatever it is. And Arenas has saved Apex as far as I'm concerned. I know most people don't feel that way. A lot of people feel like Apex, like in the arena realm, kind of dropped the ball, especially on the rank side, because the AP points, like, I won't get into the problems with that system, but
well, that's why you're here, goddammit.
Well, what I mean is it's like, who cares about your rank? Like, yeah, we all would love to climb the rank. We'd love to be Diamond, Master, Pred level players, but ultimately, why is it that we play video games? It's to have fun. It's to squad up with your friends.
And
it's
shit
to
on the competition.
Maybe have a couple of clutch plays, and crap on your opponents. And
I was about to say, yeah, that's why I play, to make everybody else feel bad about themselves.
Right, but that's what I mean, is it's like, you don't even necessarily have to win in order for that to happen. Like,
Sure.
I can lose an arenas match 1-3, but that one round that I won, if I slayed out and I destroyed that team solo with a wingman as a sweaty TTV Wraith, like, worth it. Don't care.
Oh yeah.
Like, I had my moment, that's all I needed. And that's part of the fun of video gaming. And especially when you celebrate that with your friends. I mean, you guys can attest, you guys squad up together frequently, that if Russell makes a really great play, you're celebrating with him. And even in that
I
one
don't know
moment,
what that's like, actually. I don't think Russell's ever made a good play.
I refuse to play battle arenas specifically because I suck at them and I'm way too competitive. And I would, like, I've seen Elmer rage out a few times, and I'm like, you know, we don't need two of us.
I think we do, though.
see, so Russ, here's what I'm gonna do then, because anytime I have to grab another beer. Anytime someone mentions like I don't play because of this, then I challenge them. I say, play with me. Play with me, and I promise you'll have a good time. We could lose every single game. Fudd and I, for example, we did his placement matches. What did we go? 5-5?
We
Like
straight down the middle. Yep.
right. But and we even had a streak. I think we won our first 5 and then lost
And
our
then
last 5
lost
or
the
something
last 5,
ridiculous like that.
And
But like,
lost
we
them
had so much
hard.
fun. Yeah, like we got slayed on during those last couple of games, but like we had so much fun that even when we lost, we really didn't care. And that for me is what video gaming is all about. Like and really anything that you do, whether it's your job, sports, personal relationships, like the ultimate goal is we want to surround ourselves with positive, happy people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the kind of like I had mentioned to you, Fudd, before. Like I loved your episode last week with Just Glad to Be Here, and the fact that you guys talked about how even just in your own communities, if somebody reaches out to you and is like, "Hey, I need to talk about something," like you're there for them, and that's what resonated with me the most is the fact that you truly are trying to establish not a community of people who can go out and win tournaments or win, a singular game of, Apex Arenas or Fortnite or whatever the case is, Destiny, Final Fantasy. The fact is you're there to just hang out and make them feel better about themselves, even if the game itself doesn't go bad. And for me, that was like my favorite episode was actually with you and Isabella. But just that was my favorite episode that I've ever listened to.
I forgot you listened. I don't get to talk to people that listen very often. This is weird.
No, I love that episode, but Just Glad to Be Here probably was my second favorite episode because those are the types of communities and those are the types of people that I latch onto, are the people who spread positivity no matter how gloom the outside world is. So if you lose an arenas match 0-3, I don't want to be hanging out with toxic people. I don't want to be hanging out with people that are pissed that we just got our asses kicked. It's like, nope, next game, here's what we did good.
Here's
whatever.
What we can work on. It's a new game.
And we
clear your mind. Let's go.
Yeah. And the fact that your community is like that, Just Glad to Be Yours community is like that, that's what the AAM is it's like we celebrate people's victories no matter how insignificant. If you win from bronze to silver, we will celebrate the holy hell out of you as if you hit a master's rank.
Yes, there's hope for me. Russ, I can do it.
Right. So, Russ, please squat up with me sometime. Like, truthfully, we will have an absolute blast. We'll crush some bush lattes.
I want to watch that so bad.
Oh my gosh. Do you? Are you sure you want to watch
Russ,
that?
that's the only thing I want in life is to watch you go.
Your
Wait,
PC, right? Correct?
What is
Am I not
this?
mistaken?
I just got a PC, yeah.
Okay, that's what I mean. So PC lobbies, I got aim assist all day, bro. I'll carry you. Like, we'll be fine. All I have to do is just look in the general direction of people and I'll destroy them. That's the caveat, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I'll give it a
It's
shot.
basically cheating.
I am very competitive. Very competitive.
Yes.
And I will try to keep a good humor on it.
We'll do it, you and I.
Let's go to the park,
Next
Russ.
week.
Oh, while we're here, look, they have a tic-tac-toe thing. Let's play. That'd be fun. Where'd Russ go?
Hey.
Oh, he rage quit the park.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not a real thing that happened. Yeah, very competitive guy. I would pay money to watch you do that, Russ.
We'll stream it. It will be glorious.
Do it, Russell.
All right.
Hell yes, we're set.
I mean, I'm always willing to try something.
Yeah.
And he means that. He is always willing to try something.
I'll just have to do it on a night where my wife isn't here so I can cuss.
Yes, I need that desperately, man. Yeah. You got any more questions there, Russ?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Bring it.
So Arena. So typically with like a BR, you're loading in. You don't necessarily have any weapons as you start off. You're acquiring those weapons as you go along.
Yes.
With the Arena, I mean, things are a little bit different. So do you get to pick your loadout of what you're going to start with, or how does that work, or do you still loot? I mean, how do you acquire weapons as you go, as opposed to a typical BR?
Sure. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Basically, the way it works is you have a buy system, which I'm trying to remember what game people referenced with that.
Counter-Strike, Valorant.
Counter-Strike. Thank you. Yes, that was it. So with Counter-Strike, you have a buy system where you can buy certain weapons. So obviously, the best weapons in the game cost the most money. In fact, the two what I would call meta weapons, the R301 and the L-Star, you can't even buy in round one. They're too expensive.
Okay.
So essentially what you do is you buy your weapons and any abilities and ordinances, so your grenades and stuff like that, you buy, and then, you run headlong into the other team, you fight it out. And you have the opportunity to collect money during the round if you desire. Some teams don't do that. I personally employ what I call the economy strat because I want to overwhelm people with my guns.
Sure.
By those middle rounds. So the max a game can go is 9 rounds. So a lot of people think to themselves, "Oh, the first few rounds are important because I want to get ahead." Whereas for me, money is the biggest factor in the game because if I can overwhelm you, then great.
Yeah.
So basically, it's you buy whatever loadout you want, assuming you can afford it.
Right.
And then after you buy it, if it's a situation where you're looking to upgrade it, you'll either steal it off of somebody who you killed. So if you're running, say, a shotgun, for example, and then after you kill them, you realize they have an assault rifle and you think, oh yeah, I would rather run this than my shotgun. You can pick that up off their body, steal their ammo.
Yeah.
Or mid-game, it drops a weapon crate, which has kitted weapons along with the ammo, and you can grab those as well. So oftentimes what my team and I will do in round one is we'll buy the 2 cheapest weapons, again, conserving that money, but then we'll play to loot the weapon crate. And so when that drops, we pick up the weapons in that crate.
Right.
Now we have not only the power advantage on the weapon side, but we have the money advantage to then buy bigger and better weapons as the rounds go on. And so that's like the strategy we employ. But that's the best part about arenas is you can experiment and try out different strategies of, let's buy big all the time, or let's save money, or let's do a little bit of both. You can play aggressive, you can play defensive. It's the ultimate, like Fudd said, communication-based mode because your entire team has to be on the same page. If one of your guys is spending all of his money getting the best weapon, and the other 2 aren't, you're oftentimes at a disadvantage. So you all have to be on the same page at every single given round and say, like, okay, how do we want to play this? Do you want to spend? Do you not want to spend? Do you want to be aggressive? Do you not want to be aggressive? And you truly communicate as a team in order to win that round, which then leads to you winning the game.
Yeah.
So there's a strategy even before the guns come out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, my favorite. What are we going to run? What are we going to, and I'm assuming based on your composition too, you're like, this is, with the composition, this is probably how aggressive we can be.
Right.
So do you get so you go around. So you said it's up to 9. So it's best of 6.
It's essentially a best of 3 is how it plays. Okay. But the more that you tie, if you win one, the enemy team win one, you win one. Like, the ultimate goal is to win by 2, is how it works. Now, if you win the
Okay.
first 2 rounds, that doesn't count. You have to win that 3rd round. But usually, if you're up 2-0, yeah, you have a distinct advantage over the other team. But for me, the biggest thing is, yeah, just that team communication, that team comprehensive. And I think Fudd was starting to interrupt, and I think what he was going to start to say is, if you're familiar with Apex, Lifeline, for example, she has like a free res. And so if you knock somebody, not full kill, but just simply knock them to the point where they're crawling on the ground, if you know the enemy team has a lifeline that can get
Sure.
that free res off, that will change your strategy as opposed to when a team doesn't have a lifeline, because you feel like you have to be much more aggressive, because otherwise she'll get that res off, and then now you're back to a 3v3, whereas in any other situation it'd be a 3-on-2. And so that's part of the strategy as well, is it's truly a game of chess of, here's our team versus their team, here's our guns versus their guns, and then you truly adjust on the fly. So if the enemy is running long-range weapons, you can either say, okay, we'll fight fire with fire and we'll run long range as well, and we'll just poke at each other and see who's better. Or you might say, hey, they're running long range weapons, let's all buy shotguns and SMGs. We'll just hide behind cover until the ring pushes us into a close range battle, and then we have the advantage because we waited them out. And it's that sort of dynamic that I truly enjoy in the arenas realm that you can't get in BR, because in BR you never know what the enemy team has until they're shooting at you.
Right.
Whereas in arenas you can truthfully adjust on the fly round by round based on what they're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. And my favorite part, honestly, is the fact that, like, you're not just buying, shield cells, batteries, grenades, weapons. Like, the fact that abilities and ultimate abilities are stuff you have to spend the economy on as well adds so much to it. And even like you're saying, when you're looking at the enemy comp, you look like, say, there's a Revenant, at certain point, they're probably going to spend to have that totem this match. And you're planning around if they're going to have the ultimate. Who's going to use this at what time? Should we spend for our ultimate? Should we save it? Should we get more abilities? Should we get more shields? And it's just, like you said, it's a game of chess, man. There's so many levels of it. It's not just buy weapon, move forward. It's, do I want grenades? Do I want batteries? Do I want abilities? Do I want this gun? Do I want this gun? What are you going to do? It's so many pieces to that puzzle, and it's what's what I'm looking for?
Intense.
Drinking heavily tonight. It's addicting, honestly. Once you get into, like, at first you're like, oh god, this is so insane. There's just gunfights all the time. But once you get into the actual chess aspect of it, and you're really planning out in the, that, what do you get, 30 seconds beforehand, who's using what and when, what are they going to do, and how do we counter if they use this? Do I spend this to counter that? But what if they don't spend it this time, then I can't get it next time? It's a constant back and forth. I love it.
I will always say the best part about arenas is a good team will always be a good player. So you can have, if you want to use basketball terms, the other team can have LeBron. Like, he can be a Pred level player, but he can only carry his team so far, because if you have a team that truthfully plays off of each other, communicates well, rotates well, team fires, all that sort of stuff, you will beat that guy 10, I would say 10 out of 10 times, because of the fact that, 3 guns are always going to be better than 1. So you might be the best player in the world, but if your 2 teammates are trash, and if you're not communicating with them, and you're not working as a unit, the team of mediocre players who are communicating and working well together, they'll beat you every single time. And that's part of my favorite part about arenas too, is, I can have people like Assess Bison, who I mentioned earlier, who, he is not a damage guy, he is not a kill guy, but he provides to the team. And everything he does in the midst of a match is just as crucial as us hitting our shots and getting those knockdowns and ultimately getting the round wins. And so, you can be brand new to Apex. I mean, heck, mentioned her earlier, just glad to be here. She was my MVP tonight. She's brand new to arenas, but when I watched her, she ended up clutching a 9th round victory, and most of that was because she had communication with her team, and that spoke to me as the caster. That's what I look for in a teammate. I don't look for the people who, like Blind Mirage TTV, he was hitting all of his flatline shots, and it was great to watch.
Don't miss.
Yeah, he doesn't miss, but you can hit all your shots and still lose the round. Whereas, just glad to be here, she communicated with her team in a way that gave them the victory, even if she didn't perform up to the same level as other Slayers. And that was the best part for me.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, man. What else you got there, Russ?
I think that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a question for you. Moving into the next thing here, Hertel3k. So you'd mentioned a couple times, about playing with Russ and streaming or on your own stream and whatnot. So obviously, you stream content as well here on Twitch, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what got you into doing that? Was it like, oh, we're here, let's just record stuff, and then it turned into something more, or was it always like, I really want this to be a thing?
Sure. Actually, what started it is, and I don't remember who actually suggested it, but it might have. I feel like it was the Outplayed podcast, which I know is an old group of followers of you.
Without an E, yeah.
But they were talking about how the only way to get better is to watch the game film. So no different than when you're in sports. If you watch what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and learning from those situations, you can make yourself better as a gamer. And so just like any other gamer, obviously when you do something amazing, you clip that. And for me, I play Xbox. There's a sequence of buttons where it's like, hey, you can clip the last 30 seconds up to the last 5 minutes. And it's like, oh, I want to clip that. I want to replay that moment because it was super awesome. And no one's ever going to clip when they messed up. No one's ever going to clip when they made a mistake. Like it's just not in our nature because you don't want to relive that moment. And so for me, hearing that piece of advice of you need to go back and not only watch what you did well, but watch the moments where you failed and try to learn from it. So my streaming, I actually started out on Mixer because at the time Xbox was integrated with Mixer. So the second you hit the broadcast button, the second you hit the broadcast button, it just pulled up Mixer and it broadcasted for you on there. Mixer, as we all know, is now defunct, and so I had to figure out how to make it work on Twitch with my Xbox, and thankfully I did. But that's where my streaming started. Was I had some success with Apex, but not enough to feel satisfied from it. And so I was like, okay, I need to go back and see where I'm losing, who I'm losing to, what weapons I'm losing to. And it was really the first time in my gaming life that I started to recognize meta. So at the time I was running Wraith, who has always been kind of meta, but I was constantly losing to Pathfinders. And the reason why is because they had the ability to grapple, fly behind me, and get the shot on my back, and that's what was killing me. And then so the more I watched it, the more I'm like, man, I'm dying to Pathfinder a lot. I'm dying to this particular weapon a lot. Maybe I should try this out. And then, I switched from Wraith to Pathfinder, had tremendous success once I started running him, particularly with the weapons that were meta. And even talking about tonight, which we really didn't see a whole lot of Fudd, but like the L-Star right now in Apex, particularly in arenas, the L-Star is the most broken gun in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
So right now, in this moment, I run the L-Star because I've learned it's not helpful to resist the meta. Feel dirty when you play it, but you win more when you do. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's
there's a reason it's meta. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the thing is if you run the L-Star, you're gonna win games. Like that's just the point. And so, until they nerf the L-Star into the ground and a new weapon rises to the front of the pack, I'm going to run the L-Star. And people can call me a cheat or a noob or a scrub or whatever, but ultimately I'm winning my games and you're not. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of the thing.
Exactly.
And so yeah, for me, that's what streaming kind of led into, is reviewing my own game film and trying to better myself. And then as I started to get people watching me stream, then my theater background kind of took over, and it's like, okay, now I need to try to be entertaining along with trying to provide the skill content, because I'm not a high level killer. I'm not a, somebody who's going to drop 10 kills and 4,000 damage in the game. Like, that's just not me. So my sort of balancing act for my lack of skill is I'm going to entertain you while I'm on stream. I'm going to celebrate the super hype moments, whether it's for me or my teammates. I'm going to not overreact to losses, but maybe I'll drop a couple of extra F-bombs just for the sake of entertainment.
Sprinkle those in, yeah.
Right, yeah. And so it really just, I've always been somebody who plays to the camera, and I have now found a niche in doing that. Is people will watch me, and particularly on days or nights where, like, the wife and kids are out of town. Obviously tonight was not one of those nights since they interrupted the stream. But if it's a situation where I know they're going to be out of town, like, I will purposely just get blitzed out of my mind, not for the sake of like, oh, I'm like an alcoholic and that's what I do and my wife and kids are around. It's like, no.
I mean, there's that too, but
I want to provide that entertainment for my, the people who are absorbing my content, because it's like, yeah, you're not going to get it on a skill level situation. You're going to get it from me going crazy because I kill somebody with a wingman, or I win a game, or if I lose a game, it's like, yeah, I rage in a Dr. Disrespect kind of raging way, and it's fun and it's entertaining. And I really also like just engaging with my audience. So if anybody ever watches my streams, I'm very involved with my chat. I have I'm not sure what they call it, but like on the Twitch points that you can spend to like make people do stuff.
Oh, the channel
I
points,
have things that, yeah, I have very low levels of stuff, because it's just like, hey, if you're watching my stream, I want you to feel involved and I want you to submit as many things as you can. So whether it's me shotgunning a beer or, giving you a high five with the webcam or whatever it is, like, I want you to feel like you are part of the show. And that's been really successful to me. I mean, I'm not anywhere close to where I would love to be on the stream side, but I feel like the people who do watch me consistently know what to expect.
Yeah.
Which is not high level gameplay, but you're gonna feel like you're a part of the gaming session that I'm having with my friends if you're not immediately playing with me. And that's part of what Fudd said earlier about, like, and I can't remember if it was here on the shoutcast, but like, I truthfully will play with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely anybody. Good, bad, new, veteran, doesn't matter. I want to squat up with you and I want to get to know you on a personal level and have a relationship with you, because for me, that's what streaming is about, is establishing relationships with people from wherever, because you never know also what people are going through.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If someone stumbles across my stream and maybe they're going through a tough time, like, I mean, I personally am going through tough times right now. I won't get into it, but for me, that's my outlet. Is if I can make someone else feel better about their crappy situation, that makes me feel better about my crappy situation.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And that's how I want to portray everything that I do on stream. So even in the moments where times are tough and we lose 0-3 in arenas match, it's like, hey, next game we'll be fine. Chat, what's up? Send me the good vibes. Everything's good. I love you guys. We're going to win this next one. This one's for you, ELMMERFUDD. This one's for you, Russ. We're going to go in and we're going to win this
Let's
next
get
game.
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Well, it's just like, something you mentioned earlier when it was all the way back to Fortnite, when you're able to reconnect with your friends and just have that time to chat and just talk about life and get to know each other. It's a nice way. That's my favorite part of streaming is like you get to do that without having to have 100 people in your Xbox party or in Discord
Yes.
or whatever, like you have your group you're playing with and having that, those experiences, talking your way through things, but you also could have people that are just, text chatting the same thing and making friendships and getting to know people. And it's the same thing on both ends. It's Oh God, it's good, dude.
And that's the crazy thing is like, so I reference Rock all the time. I never call him Rock, especially on stream, but like that's part of his gamer tag. Most of my Discord knows who Rock is, even though he's not in the Discord. He's not a streamer. He's not a content creator of any sort, but he's the person I run Apex Arenas with the most. So whenever I mention Rock for anything or whenever he's on the stream in the game chat, like people are like, "Hey, Rock, what's up?" And I'll like tell him like, "Oh, hey, this person said what's up to you in my chat." And it's one of those things where it's like people have no idea who this guy is. He's the godfather of one of my children, but like he has his own cult following, even though he is not a content creator in the slightest. And part of it is because like when he hops on, or my buddy Magic, he's a guy who we always say we co-parent our kids because they live 2 blocks away from our house. Whenever Magic is in my stream, he's always like, "Hey, what up, H3K stream? Magic in the chat here. Hope y'all are having a good night." And it's just like, dude, you don't even know who's watching right now.
Oh yeah.
But people know who Magic is, and they love him with the energy and the positive vibes that he brings. And I can't thank my friends enough for supporting me, but then also, being themselves on stream. Like they're not anything you see when you watch me stream, like that's real life me.
Oh yeah.
Some of it gets a little bit like overplayed or overhyped, like in certain moments, but otherwise, like who you see on camera, that's me in real life. And so when my friends and I are vibing, that'd be no different than if Fudd or Russell, if the 3 of us were in a party, I would be doing the same exact thing that I'd be doing with Rock, Bison, Magic, Infamous, Drake, any of those guys. It's just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man. I love it, dude. Yeah. Oh, great stuff. Well, enough about you, Russell.
Yeah, tell me about Russell.
Russ, what's going on with you lately? I want to get you in here. I know you've got a game you've been playing a ton of lately. What do you got going on over there, Russ? That you're playing currently while we're recording a podcast.
At least I'm not like clacking.
That's true. Yeah, clickety clack 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 clack.
And I'm not cussing yet, so I mean things aren't going too bad. I have I'm relatively new to gaming PC within the last few months. Mostly because Brett, we used to play on the PlayStation all the time, and then he abandoned me.
Here we go.
And then he was like, "No, I don't want to come and play with you. You'll need to get a PC if you want to play with me again." So I guess I had to get a PC.
Yeah, it's way better. Why would I want to go back?
I'm just saying. The PS5 is pretty sweet.
PS5 is awesome. I'm just not one of the lucky, 4 people in the world that have one. So,
right.
They just had a big drop across like Best Buy, GameStop. They're in stores. They were in stores I think they were this morning. Like there were a bunch of people camped out at Best Buy last night when we were.
Okay, so 9 people now. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
That's fair. So I got a PC a while ago, and they're really hard to find. So I got kind of lucky. I got a decent one, or not a terrible price. I'd been pricing them out for a while. anyway, I don't know why that matters. Anyway, I had because I go back and forth. I like playing like my single player stuff on the PlayStation, and I like playing, MMOs or whatever with people on the computer. And so I got into playing Red Dead, and then I was playing Shadow of War, and then Lindsay got Lego Star Wars, so I wasn't allowed to use the PlayStation anymore.
Is she excited for the what is that? The Skywalker Saga game coming out?
So I don't even think that she's aware. She got Lego Harry Potter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But she
Classic.
is into like, the Lego games. Like she's really into them. I had actually even gotten her into like Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. Like she'll sit down, she'll play some video games every once in a while.
Yeah.
But basically I got kicked off was the moral to that story. She was like, I want to play my game, so you go find something else to do. So I came back to the computer and I had jumped back into RDRO for a little bit, but then I don't know if somebody hacked my account or what, but every time I get on now, like I'll play for a little bit and then I'll start exploding.
Oh, that's just all the hackers. Yeah.
And
that's just Rockstar. Yeah.
That got really, really irritating.
Yeah. Welcome to Red Dead
I couldn't
Online.
finish a mission.
Yeah.
Because I started exploding. And like, it was like there were a few times where like I was picking up supplies for like for being a trader, And so yeah. Oh crap. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I got attacked by a 1-star skeleton, and I have like no health, and so he's trashing me. So
the multitasking is incredible right now.
It's nuts.
Right. I should have been a streamer. Instead of a contender. Anyway.
Me, I could have been.
So I got tired of that, and then I think Brett, you had mentioned Valheim, and I had gotten it a while back, and there was the new expansion that had come out.
Yes.
And I was like, "Whoa, well, I'll jump in because I think when I had originally jumped in, you guys had basically all jumped out because you had gotten tired of it. So you guys were playing that, so I was like, "Oh, this is a great opportunity," because the last time I played, I wasn't even able to build anything because I couldn't figure it out. So maybe now I can actually figure it out. And I started playing 3 days ago, and I think I've already put in 30 hours.
Hell yeah, dude.
Like, I've been spending probably far too much time playing this game.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to lose time in there, man. Just that music. It's like playing, like, when, if you were ever, like, really into Minecraft, at some point, like, that music is just softly going. You're just working on stuff and building things here and there. And before you know it, you're like, oh, shit. It's been a day and a half.
Well, and I didn't realize, like you had told me, but I didn't realize the depth of what you can do. Because, like, I love survival games. I've found that that's something I really do enjoy, is playing these games where you get to build structures and you're acquiring materials to be able to build and grow and do different things, and there's a progression where as you go along in Valheim, you start with stone weapons and clubs and things like that, and then you eventually move on to bronze. And then, but the cool thing also, and this was one of the things, like Conan Exiles is probably my second favorite. I think Valheim has moved up into my favorite.
Really?
Spot.
No way. No shit. Really?
Yeah.
This is a colossal moment.
Well, I'm a big fan of Conan, but I also really like the dungeons and like the lore, and they did a good job with a lot of things.
I'm just happy you mentioned Conan, because that's what Rock plays when he's not playing Apex Legends. And I'm like, what is this game? Like, I've never even heard of Conan Exiles. So the fact that Russell is a Conan diehard makes me so happy.
Just be
I
careful.
am.
If he agrees to play Apex with you, he's going to make you play Conan with him.
That's fine. I'll play it. I don't
All
care.
right, there we go.
Rick
Or
plays it, so I'm down.
I was actually gonna say that. I was gonna say if I'll play Apex with you if you play Valheim with us.
Hey, there we
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Is
And the
Valheim
best
available
part-
on Xbox?
The best part, ladies and
It
gentlemen, is
not.
we have our own
Yeah.
private server in Valheim. So if you want to
Yeah.
be part of an actual community server of Vikings, like
Mhm.
hit us up. We're rocking out there.
If it's not available, I'll play Conan.
There
We'll
you
do
go.
that because I know that's available.
I've been
That
getting
is,
dragged
and-
into trying that too, so I'll join you.
Yeah, I when we get ready to start that, I'm gonna start a server for us. I just
Perfect.
haven't yet. Because the only thing that stopped me playing Conan Exiles was the PvP. Because just when I'd get stuff built, that's when people would swoop in and steal all my stuff. And it really sucks. So I really enjoyed like the dungeons and like the things that you could go and do in Conan Exiles to like progress. Like there's even a way that you can win the game in Conan Exiles. Potentially.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So the lore is that you have like this bracelet that keeps you trapped in the desert. So their boundary is actually like this magic device that keeps people trapped in this area.
Okay.
And when you're exiled and sent into the exiled lands, they put that bracelet on you. So to leave, you die if you cross that boundary. So to win the game, you put all these materials together to then take off the bracelet and be able to leave and go off.
So if you leave and go off, does it just like the game, like literally roll credits, start a new character, or is there like anything after that?
Leave. So you leave and you go off and start a new character. Credits roll.
Oh, wow.
Start a new character.
That's crazy. I've never heard that
But-
part of it.
You can go into the same server, so you can set up all your stuff that you've built,
Mhm.
and then you can just go back into the same server and grab all that stuff. Like you still have to start over, like your skills and everything like that as you learn, but you can still use the tools that you had acquired. Not a lot of people do it because
Why?
you lose
Yeah.
all
Why
your-
would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I like about Valheim. There's a progression. Like the world gets harder as you start killing these bosses. And they have these bosses and they're cool mechanics and they're fun to
Yeah,
fight.
they're actual like legit boss fights. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so much fun.
But the thing that I like about Valheim over Conan Exiles is it's a little bit more like Minecraft. So you can modify the terrain, you know? And with Conan Exiles, you couldn't. That was just you build on top of things that were already there. But with this, you can you can build a huge wall out of stone pillars just by raising up the level of the earth, you know? Or when you're laying down a house, you kind of want to dig down, get a nice flat area so you can have a solid foundation, you know? All cool things. And so the modifiability of the world is what I think that I like about Valheim more than I like Conan Exiles, because I can go, I want to build this thing, and instead of being restricted by where I'm trying to build, I can just go and start building it, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's fun, you know? I mean, they did a great job. I mean, for what, 2 people building this game?
It was
2, and then they went to 5?
It's a big deal, man. Yeah, it was 2 people building it, and then they hired a third right before it launched, and now they're up to 5.
Yeah. I mean, 5 people building this game. And I mean, like, it has a specific style that they did very, very well.
Extremely
Like,
well, yeah. The art style of it.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of, like, WoW when it first came out, you know? It's
But
got
still
the
better.
polygons to make up the character, so it's not like a perfect depiction. But they stylized it in that way and did such a good job making that. Okay, we're not going to go a graphics powerhouse because then, whatever, the game wouldn't work as well as it does. I mean, that would be a lot of stress if you had something that, like, look like RDR.
Oh yeah, with the ability to build like you can, yeah.
Right. And so, but they went with that style and they made it their own, and they did a great job. Like they're like right now, I'm watching the moon sink across the horizon, and the little light effects, streams of light coming off of it. It just looks very good. It's very pretty. They have this way of blurring things on the outside edge of your vision, but then it focuses. Like if you hover your cursor over it, you can like focus, so you're like getting distances and gauging from the way it blurs. It's a beautiful, wonderful game, and I've really enjoyed playing it.
It's surprisingly beautiful. Like I think that's what me and Claire and I talked about. Is you'd be playing it because it's it's simplistic, but like the lighting effects and the color palette and stuff, and you'll just be playing and you'll just stop and you'll go, my God, this is really pretty. And then keep going, and you're back to remembering like how simplistic it looks. It's I don't know how to describe that art style, but yeah, it's simplistically gorgeous. I've never seen anything like it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to, is playing a lot. A lot. It was funny. I was actually playing earlier today, because I had seen some YouTube videos and I was like, oh, I want to try this out and try this thing. And so I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden it's like it throws up some text on the screen, and it's like the ground is shaking, and then these two trolls come barreling out of the trees at me. And I'm like, oh crap. So I'm like, luckily I had raised up these stone pillars to make this wall, so they couldn't really do anything to me.
Yeah.
And they couldn't, they because they were so focused on me, they didn't destroy any of my stuff. And it was funny because I was messaging Brett, because we communicate somewhat regularly.
Sadly.
And as soon as I dealt with the trolls, Brett messages me and he goes, I'm kiting a troll over to your base right now. Or he said, we had been discussing something, and he was like, I'm kiting a troll over to your base. And I was like, you are? And so I like ran out, and I'm like trying to look so I can go ahead and kill it before it gets to my base. But he wasn't even on. It was just very funny because I was very in the zone and very concerned with what was going on in the game and not really paying much attention to anything else.
So I have to ask, it sounds very Clash of Clans-ish in the sense of like you can invade someone else's space and take their stuff and all that sort of stuff. Am I wrong in thinking that? Or
I mean, you could.
Yeah, I don't know if it's kind of like Bush. Yeah, think of like like the closest thing is definitely like PvP in Minecraft or something, or like Conan Exiles, where you have your area, you build it. If you're on a PvP server, like you can go attack someone's base with just you. Like it's not like Clash, where you have all the minions you buy and everything, but
right.
And then if you can break through to their base, kill them, and before they respawn and everything, take all their stuff and run for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't think we have PvP turned on.
No, not right now, because we're all. It's like it's a group of people where we're like, hey, let's help and uplift each other. And like 2 a.m, randomly we'll be like, you know what? I want to shit in their Cheerios, and that would not be a good combo.
Yeah, I haven't encountered that on this server, but it's usually like if somebody did take my stuff, I'd be like, all right, there's 4 other people on here. Which one of you suckers took my stuff?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And probably
by the way, did you guys see my new armor? It's super cool.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's pretty friendly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a really good community. Again, awesome community server going on over there. If look up Valheim, look at some videos of people building like crazy bases and stuff. And if it's something you're interested in, please hit us up. We'd love to have more people involved in the community over there. And you mentioned earlier the progression, and I just wanted to mention something on that. Like, it is extremely satisfying progression. Mm-hmm. It's when you hit that next tier, you're like, oh my God, I hit this tier. And so much stuff opens up for you to upgrade. And it's not like, okay, I had a stone pickaxe. Now I have, this iron one or a copper one, and it's slightly better. Like, it's a big difference when you move up to the next step. And it feels so good to keep progressing forward. And the boss fights, like you said, are super fun. And when it finally happens, God, you feel good. Like that second boss, me and Clear Knight, our first time, Russ, we were probably geared like you were, right? We died probably 32 times easily our first time trying to kill that thing. And we're just screaming, squealing like pigs. Anyone who listened was probably just awful. But God, I'll never forget that though. But yeah, super fun game. Highly recommend it. Right?
Yeah, that good. I recommend it too.
It's good back and forth though, Russ. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it is like so Clear Knight is, because your character can transfer from server to server. So the things that you've learned, and then you can also take anything that you have on your person with you to another server.
Oh, that's true. So that's a big good part.
That's a big part. Knight are much further along than I am. Specifically, Clear Knight, and then Adavari. I knew there was an R in there somewhere. And Adavari, like, there are few things past me. So, like, I go over to their bases and I'm like, what is going on here?
Especially Adavari. That guy is like, that poor guy had a plan for building his base. Hertel, you'll like this. And he built this whole intricate base and he's like, nah, I hate it. Tore the whole thing down, started over. It took days. He did this probably 8 or 9 times before he finally was like, all right, I think I'm okay with this. Just days to build this whole just intricate
Oh my God,
base.
that sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And he'd be like, you'd sit back, you think, you stand back, the sun's setting behind you or rising, you got your coffee in your hand. I did this. But for him, it was like, nah, hate it. Start over, fresh, delete.
I am totally that player. Like in any type of game with progression, it's like I didn't progress this character the way I wanted to, or progress the civilization or whatever. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. What's really driving me, like that excites me about this game is the fact that you can transfer servers. Because I'm so used to games where, if you jump into a new server, you got to start from scratch.
Yes.
So the fact that you can take things from server to server, that's crazy.
It's like, because we've got a few friends that have their own servers too. They all play over there, and like to be able to be like, they post in their Discord, hey, we're gonna go hunt dragons or something. Who wants to go? Like me, whose main server somewhere else, I can go, yeah, I'll jump in there and just put on my dragon killing stuff and log out of my server, log into theirs, and I go pop right where I last logged out, wearing all my stuff, and I'm like, all right, let's just go. Or joining like a public server or something. You can just, if you can carry it, if you can believe it, it can come true. You just go. Because like you said, so many games have you start over, and after a while you're like, no, I'm done with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not the Final Fantasy realm, which I know we've mentioned we might talk about a little bit. I was a big Ragnarok Online fan.
Oh, shit. That's a callback.
Yeah, old school, which they actually have a mobile version now, which is pretty fun. But that's one of those things where, the second you attempt to change servers, it's like, nope, you have to completely start from scratch and build your character back up. And sometimes that's a ridiculous grind. I mean, I enjoy the grind from time to time, but especially if it's a situation like that where it's like, hey, we're gonna go hunt some dragons. Yeah, I would love to carry over my character from one server to another to just jump right in, as opposed to having to fly in, seat of my pants.
Does anyone have a spare sword? Sword? Looking for sword? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and awesome. It's good because Elmer won't let me progress through the bosses anymore. He said I had to cut that crap out to make it safer for new people, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. So when you mentioned the ground is rumbling, for anyone who's not aware of this mechanic, every once in a while, depending on how far you've progressed on the bosses, waves of enemies will just kind of attack your base. It doesn't happen very often. But every boss you kill increases how difficult those enemies that attack you are. And so that's an issue we had before, we had to do a hard reset on the server when this new update came out. And people would join our server and be like, oh, this is so awesome. And then just the worst stuff the game possibly could throw at you. They're like walking around with a stick and, this horrible monstrosity would run up out of nowhere, just, and they're like, well, why am I bothering here? And it just turns so many people away. But since all your progression goes over, you can jump into your own private server and kill that boss and progress yourself and not mess with the community one. So we're kind of like, we're going to sit here so people can actually have a good experience when they join.
Well, and I don't think it's dependent necessarily on the boss or the server anymore. Because like Clear Knight, he was having the Greylings show up. Which are like the first, like, aside from boar and deer, they're the next enemies that you face off against. I didn't get any of those until until I had progressed my base a significant amount. And I'm not sure how it bases it, whether it's number of days on the server.
No,
I
it is.
don't know if it was the boss necessarily.
No, it is server wide. It's based off whatever It's if you kill the boss, you get the trophy, which is the head, right? And then you hang it on the runes. So it's whatever head. Well, the second the head hangs on the rune, that's what causes the next thing. So you'll have, if you don't kill any bosses, which is really nice when you first start, is you'll just have a bunch of boars and deers attack your base. You're like, hey, free food, shoot arrows everywhere. And then after you kill the first boss, that's when you get, the Greylings and the Grey Dwarves and everything. And then after you kill the second boss is when you get all the oozes and the swamp dudes. And then once you kill the swamp boss and hang its head up, that's you get all the shit from the plains. And that's where we were at when everyone was like, nope, I'm good. Because there's just like these tiny little mosquitoes that poison you and do a shit ton of damage that are impossible to hit. These loxes that are like 8 times the size of an elephant. You have actual like goblins and shit that come up with armor, and it's just... Yeah, and then after you kill that, that's when you get dragons attacking and ice dragons, and it progresses fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Sounds fun.
Defending your base from a ice dragon. You're just like, I'm just going to sit here and make some soup. Oh, dear God, and run out there and you're lobbing fire arrows in the sky. It's a good time.
Well, that's how you get the serpent meat.
Mm-hmm. No, the serpent meat comes from the serpents.
Serpents? I know, I was kidding.
In the water. Serpent meat. Right on.
So fun question for the podcast.
Bring it.
Do you guys have any ad reads?
We did one at the beginning. I have another one if you want it.
Yeah, because I got to pee so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Go pee.
I gotcha.
I'm going to pee.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will jump into whatever you want to jump into.
Absolutely, man. Go pee. We do have another ad read. Here we go. Do you want me to do it, Russ?
Sure.
Yeah. Actually, Lux Out last sent me 2, and he's like, take your pick. So this is actually, the fact that this worked out in our favor is unheard of, Russell.
Well, I mean, not very many. A blind squirrel, even a blind squirrel gets a nut every once in a while, You
call me a blind squirrel, I'll tell you what.
I've called you worse things.
Russ?
Yeah.
Is it still me that makes you sweat?
It is.
Am I who you think about in bed when the lights are dim and your hands are shaking as you slide off your shirt from HeShirtSheShirt.com?
This is getting a little awkward.
I don't know how many people who slide their shirts off, but do you, baby? Because feeling sexy, not just in the bedroom, but in all aspects of life, is super important. And the only way to guarantee that upper echelon of sexiness is to have a steady supply of He-Shirt, designed shirts. Whether you're rocking a kind of sus shirt, a Moon Wen shirt, or a custom I Love Anna Kendrick shirt, I'm going to have to pick one of those up.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be the talk of the gym, restaurant, or just anyone who notices you in the bathroom. And the maximum value And for maximum value, make sure you use the code JSGcast to get 10% off your order, as I'm sure you could use that to save 10% towards whatever illicit hobbies you might have. Looking at you, Ferg. And now please enjoy as we continue on
I thought you were looking at me.
with this episode of Just Some Guardians with Hertel3k, who returned as I finished the ad read, which is absolutely stunningly perfect.
That was spot on.
You know, not me, but a friend of mine had an old football coach. He used to say, if your piss ain't clear, you're not drinking enough water.
Amen.
Well, Coach, I just want to let you know I've had nothing but Busch Light tonight, and I'm clear as hell. So I am hydrated.
Yes.
There is no hangover in my future, according to science.
According to science?
Because my pee is clear, I am set for life.
Oh, I love that, dude. I do that because I walk all day at work, right? On a walking route with the post office, and I get creepily excited when I pee clear, because I'm chugging water all day, and I'm like, God, I really don't want to hurt my body and stuff. And when you get old, you don't want cramps, and if you're not hydrated, it's a whole mess, right? Eat bananas. And yeah, dude, I'll be in a porta potty at work, and I'll be like, it's clear, like super loud. And I'm sure people are walking their dog like, what is wrong with him?
What is going on with that man?
It's a good measurement. Yeah. Right on. Well, is there any other subjects we wanted to hit on, games or anything before we move forward here?
I'd like to hit on you.
Take it away.
Who?
What?
Yeah.
Pickup line, go.
Did it hurt
Oh, God.
when they threw you down to hell?
No, it wasn't really as bad as I thought. I had a nice soft landing, landing on your personality. So
My favorite, though, is... You mind if I check the logo on those pants?
Oh, God.
Are they astronaut pants? Because your butt is out of this world.
Hey, yeah. What do you got?
I love it.
Give me pickup line, Hertel.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, you're going to put me on the spot.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh, God. You had to put me on the spot.
Oh, absolutely,
now,
I did.
I know. Now I'm drawing a blank on the podcast. This is phenomenal audio. Yeah, the ass out of this world one is good.
No, it's not.
No, I love that one.
Okay,
that is a classic. Your ass is out of this world. I mean, really, that's the go-to. There's no better pickup line than that one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to disappoint you.
That's right. There is
nothing.
There is, in fact, a better pickup line than your ass is out of this world.
To be fair, I also have not used a pickup line in like 8 years. So I'm out of my element here.
That's all right.
I've been married. I've got kids. Been a while since I've had to hit up a woman.
So the one that's helped me
hit up woman.
Hit up. Yeah. The bush is kicking in, ladies and gentlemen. So this pickup line has saved me so many times. And if you're listening to this, right, you're a young buck, right? And you're out there looking for love, right? Take some notes. Get a pen. Get a paper out. Brace yourself here. Ready?
May not be your best idea.
It's the best idea, trust me. So you walk up to the lady in question, right?
I got it, actually. But go ahead.
You look them deep in the eyes.
Deep.
With your deepest voice, you go, hey, let me help you shave that mustache. Kills every time. 100% success rate.
Okay, you want mine?
Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
Okay. This is an actual play that not only have I used, but I have had friends use.
All right, bring it.
Success. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's called the Shelly.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It's a move that has a name, which means it's going to be good.
Yes, it is an actual move. Fun fact, In my hometown fantasy football league, our trophy is called the Shelly, named after this move.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. Buckle up.
Yes, this is 100% real. This came to me from my buddy Seth, and here's the way it works. This is primarily for college students, but you can amend it to fit your stuff as best as you can. So here's the way it works. So you're at a bar.
Got it.
And the way the Shelly works is it's a group. So you need wingmen, not a wingman. You need wingmen.
Got it.
To all commit to this bit. Otherwise, it does not work. So you all have to commit.
What about wing women? Is that acceptable?
That's fine. As long as you commit. That's the important part. You all have to commit to it. Okay.
Commit to find.
So here's the way it works.
I like this.
I may have to convince my wife, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say the three of us are at a bar. We all got our bush lattes, our wild turkey, American honey. You know, we're drinking it. We're having a good time, and then lo and behold, Hertel3k spots a gorgeous gal across the way.
Ooh, baby.
I'll give you guys a guess as to what her name is. Her name is Shelly.
Is it Michelle?
No.
Shelly
It's Shelly. And here's why. Shelly is specific enough, but not uncommon enough that it can play. And here's the way the bit works, okay?
Ready.
So you all get excited because you just spotted Shelly at the bar.
Oh my God,
and
Shelly.
All know Shelly. Shelly is a ball of fire. She's fun. Everybody loves her.
God,
she's
Shelly, I love you.
extremely popular with both men and women. She's beautiful. She has the world's greatest personality. Shelly! Shelly! Hey! Shelly! Hey! And here's the deal. You all yell at Shelly and you wave to her.
Shelly!
You wave to Shelly. Yeah, you're very excited. You're anxious. You see Shelly. You wave at Shelly.
It's Shelly.
You wave at Shelly.
It's been so long.
Now, assuming her name is not Michelle or Shelly for short, here's what's going to happen. She's going to get very confused. Women, as we all know, they're very logical. They're very precise human beings, and they don't like being called a name that they are not known by.
Sure.
But they're intrigued. They want to know, why are these three gentlemen, Fudd, Russ, and Hertel, calling me Shelly? This makes no sense. All of them are in agreement that I am somebody that I am not. So you all wave, Shelly, hey, what's up, Shelly? How's it going, Shelly? And you call her over, or you go to her. It doesn't matter. You can play it either way. You go to her, and you're like, Shelly, what's up? How's it going? And when she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not Shelly, then you all commit to the bit. This is the important part.
All right, this is where it comes in.
Classic Shelly. Okay.
Classic Shelly. God, you're
Shelly.
you're so crazy.
My name's not Shelly. Okay.
What a Shelly thing to do.
You're a riot. Shelly, you're a riot. We love you. Ah, Shelly, you're so great. And here's the bit. You ready?
Ready.
So she's like, guys, I'm not Shelly. Like, can you please? I'm not her. Please, for the love of God, stop calling me Shelly. I'm not Shelly. It's like, oh, yeah, Shelly. Fine. If you're not Shelly, what's your name and number?
Boom.
Boom.
Mic drop.
What's your name and number? Shelly. And here's the deal.
Oh
You
my God.
convince her that whoever this Shelly person is that you think she is, she is Mean Girls Lindsay Lohan to the planet, okay? That is the go-to. Shelly is the greatest human being any of you have ever met. You all want to hang out with her, to the point where if you really get somebody convinced, they're like, yeah, I'm Shelly. Of course I'm Shelly.
So Shelly. Classic me, am I right?
Why? Yeah, buy me drinks all night, please. In the name of Shelly, buy me my whiskey sours.
My name.
Buy me my vodka Red Bulls. Buy me my Bush lattes, please. I am Shelly. You all love and worship me. And you know what will happen? I will go home with one of the three of you, whoever I deem is worthy.
Of Shelly.
It's the Shelly play.
I like this.
But the way it works is you all have to commit to the bit.
100%.
She could be like, guys, no, my name's not Shelly, it's Jennifer. Shelly.
Whatever. Come
Okay.
on, Shelly. You got me last
Jennifer.
time. Not twice in a row.
Shelly. Whatever. Girl, I sit behind you in biology class. You can't tell me you don't know me, okay?
I see you sign your name on your
commit.
tests all the time.
Yeah. Shelly, you literally gave me the answer to number 4, which, by the way, metatosis. I don't know if metatosis is a word, but she doesn't either because she's not in your class. Shelly is a made-up person who shared her test results with you, and you all know and love her. Build her up, and if all else fails, and I mean if all else fails and the Shelly play doesn't work, here's the way you do it. You go to your Hobby Lobby, your Dollar General, whatever the case is.
We're still going here. This is awesome.
No, this is the backup plan if the Shelly plan doesn't work. You buy ribbons, okay? You buy like first, second, third place ribbons. And what you do is you just hand them out to the people in the group. And you're just like, hey, by the way, you're number 1. Because what girl doesn't want to be number 1? The hottest girl in their group. You are, and you don't even have to ask for anything. You just say, hey, just so you know, my guys and I, we were checking out your group. You're the hottest one, just so you know. Here you go. We'll see you later. Have a good night. Bye. And you walk off and they're like, wait a minute. Hold on. These guys think I'm number 1. I want to go talk to them. Maybe they'll buy me a drink. And then they come over and you're like, oh yeah, let me get you a drink. And then you go to the bar. Oh, by the way, Shelly, what's your number? And then you pop one of those. So you Shelly it, and as a last resort, you pull a ribbon out of your pocket and you hand it to her. Hey, you're the hottest girl in your group. Because girls are always in a group. That's the thing.
Oh, always, yeah.
Bar. They're always in a group. You're number 1. Oh, hey, Patrice, you're number 2.
Patrice.
And then,
hey, Beatrice, here's number.
Yeah, Barbara, you're number 3. Okay, we don't need to debate this. Shelly, you're number 1. Congratulations, we love you.
I feel like there's a second play here that you could do, right?
Let's hear it.
So what you do is, so you have the ribbons, right? You don't give number 1 to the hottest girl. You give
it to the one you want. That's the key. You give it to the one that you want.
See, this is what you do. The one that you want, you give a ribbon to all the other girls. The last one, you have one that doesn't even have a place. It just says consolation prize.
No.
You give it to the one you want, and here's why.
Mind trick.
Here's why. You give it to her, and then you look her in the eye and you go, prove me wrong.
I'm misogynistic, but I love it.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Earn your number 1 spot.
Jesus, Ross.
I have an extra plethora. In fact, I don't have ribbons. I have trophies in my car. You can get the number 1 spot.
I noticed there's 7 of you. If you could stay here, I need to run to Hobby Lobby real quick.
This is taking such a turn.
I know. Oh my God.
I feel like it is misogynistic, and it's a little bit of a jerk move.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. There are quite a few girls that would work on.
Here's the deal. The Shelly, here's the best part about that whole bit. The Shelly is seldomly the hottest one in the group, and that's part of the bit, is you make whoever it is that you're going after, because everybody likes the hot girl, but let's be honest, sometimes the hot girl kind of a B.
Yeah.
Kind of not nice.
Not a Shelly.
Kind of high maintenance. So no, not only are you dragging the true number 1 in terms of the hotness, the 1 to 10 scale, not only are you dragging her down, but you're building up Shelly. And you're making Shelly feel good. And then you know what? 9 times out of 10, Shelly has the personality to match everything you've built her up to be. Exactly. Which is the greatest human being of all time. Because you and all of your friends, you love Shelly. And even though she's not actually Shelly, you're so convinced that she is the greatest human being to ever walk the earth. that she learns to believe it too, and it gives her self-confidence, and it gives her the ability to say, you know what, you're right, I am worth something, and I love you, and we're gonna get married, and we're gonna make babies. And
Yours
that
was a lot
is the
nicer
story
than
So
mine.
is
of
this-
how I met my wife.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the story of how you met your?
He still calls her Shelly to this
To this day, has no idea what
It's
her
not
name
to-
is.
That's actually not true, but I have had a buddy, infamous CDH, if you ever see him on the H3K stream. He once ran the Shelly play twice in one night, made out with two girls, and then they ended up like fighting over him, which was really awkward because he's like, Shelly,
Shelly, Shelly, you're both so amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, so he pulled this on two different girls. And
He did. It works.
What
It
a
works.
legend.
That is
There you
truly
go.
impressive.
Infamous.
And if
somehow
Shelly doesn't
makes
work-
my play less misogynistic.
If Shelly doesn't work, go for the mustache thing.
Yes.
100%.
Or the ribbon thing.
Shelly, Hobby Lobby, mustache, your ass is out of this world. In that order. That's your go-tos.
Yes. If you don't score with that story,
Yeah.
you're done.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. It's just why bother? Why bother?
You better have a cool scar or a wicked tattoo. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's progress. Let's progress here before Russ is horrible again.
I mean, come on.
Misogynistic.
Yeah. All right, Russ.
Yes.
Let's tell you something.
Tell me.
If
Tell me
I,
something good.
did this,
Let's do our emails.
would you believe me if I told you we actually had emails?
No.
Well, Russell, prepare to
Prove me
believe
wrong.
because we have 2 emails, Russell.
Oh, yes.
Two.
Two.
We don't just have one. We have two.
We have
Are they
two.
both from Audible?
No.
They're legit emails.
So my favorite part of this is I don't ever read them until we get to this segment, right?
Right.
Which is how
what-
it should be.
Which is how it should be, yes. One of them is from Laz, who writes our ad reads. He says, I only have one thing to say, and only thing. Dear he-shirt-she-shirt.com. Anna Kendrick shirt when? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Ooh, yes.
He-shirt-she-shirt, if you listen to this, which I know you are. Anna Kendrick shirt. Let's make it happen.
I love AK.
Yeah.
This next one I just glanced over, and this is going to be really nice, actually, Russell. So anyone that follows us on Twitter, or if you do a lot of podcasts, actually, if you know BitDead or BitDad, however he signs his name, depending on what platform he's on, he listens to so many podcasts. He'll write a blurb and how good he liked the show for every show he puts, tags them, puts them on Twitter, gets the word out. He does this Follower Friday where he spams every podcast he listens to, tells people to go follow them and listen to them out. Like, he's just one of the best supporters of so many people.
Serena's meeting. Go follow it. Go check it.
Yes.
It'll make you hot in your pants.
So hot. The bush is kicking in. All right. So here's his email, Russell and Hertel. Hello, you gorgeous specimens. There's been something I've been meaning to say for quite some time, and I feel this is one of the best places to say it. Over recent months, I've been seeing a lot of people are struggling with mental health and self-esteem. Like many people, I've struggled with my own mental health in previous years. I know it's something that can't be cured. It's something you manage on a daily basis. So I just wanted to say this to anybody who needs to hear it. I love you. I respect you. You are perfect and beautiful. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Much love to you all, Ian. Oh. And like I just said, like this is one of the most incredible people ever. And then I get into the email and it is exactly on par with who he is as a person. Just, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I personally, I absolutely needed that right now. So thank you, man. Thank you so much for that.
I am in the same boat. I mean, I previewed it earlier that, times are a little tough right now.
Mm-hmm.
An email from a random person that I'll probably never hear from again.
Until he tags you on Twitter and says, hey, I loved this episode.
Right. No, I got goosebumps
Yeah.
right
Oh,
now.
absolutely,
like, for
man.
real. Like that. I feel like I was on this podcast just to hear that email, as weird as that sounds.
No, not at all, man.
That's what I
Stuff like
needed.
that happens, dude. Thank you, man.
You
That
guys,
was wow. Thank you so much.
you guys are both so beautiful.
Oh, Russ, not as gorgeous as you, man. Like, listen, I'm checking the tag on your pants.
There's a hole in my pants.
Yeah? You're not wearing the stretchy shorts, are you?
No, not.
I have baby spit on my pants.
I just. These are just my fat sweatpants.
Yeah.
I feel like I need.
I think I can almost get them over my
I can't
head.
get mine that high. Quick backstory for your Hurdle. Also, anyone who's been a long-time listener, yes, Russell did the shorts thing again. So we did this game show one time, right? Had a guest on and everything, and randomly we're just talking about pants, and Russ just goes, "Oh yeah, check this out," and he's got like skin-colored shorts on, and just goes and like rips them up over his head out of nowhere, and we all panic for about half a second. It was a good time.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Glorious.
All right, moving forward.
Yes.
Story time!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Story Time, the part of the show where we all come together and tell a story in gaming. It can involve video games, tabletop games, LARPing, airsoft, mind games, Face Off with John Travolta. You know, anything we want to talk about as gamers, we love talking about our exploits, sharing, swapping stories around the campfire, right? And this has been a thing for a long time, Russell, as you're well aware.
Yes.
And Russ, do you want to start us off with a story tonight, brother?
No.
Okay. That's good.
And that's it.
Thank you all for tuning in for the episode. Really appreciate you
Good
listening.
night.
Yeah. You got a story you want to share with us, Hurdle?
Sure. So which she's sleeping directly above me right now. Hopefully she's not hearing this. But what my wife does not know is in my office, I have hooked up my PS2. And
love it.
so I have been replaying old games, particularly my Grand Theft Auto series, because one of my best friends in real life, TJ, decided to delete all of my memory off of my memory card to make way for like Madden 07 or something like that on my memory card way back in college when he moved in with me. And so I've been replaying old games. And this past week, I have actually been playing Dirge of Cerberus, how
Yeah.
do you pronounce that? Cerberus, right?
Yeah, Cerberus.
I think it's Cerberus. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a Final Fantasy VII spinoff, which for me, Final Fantasy VII is one of my all-time favorite games. Absolutely love it. Love the lore behind it, all of the expansions that have arisen out of it. The singular reason if I buy a PS5 will be to play the remake, which
That's so
unfortunately is
worth
on
it.
Xbox right now.
So
I know.
It was good.
It was really good.
I went to my brother's house because he had a PS4. I went to my brother's house to play the demo
Oh,
of
yes.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, and like that alone, like I'm just so excited to jump into it, and I'm doing my best to stay away from spoilers or anything like that because I know there's a lot of extra content that they're adding in with the story and whatnot. But so I've been replaying Dirge of Cerberus because my one negative aspect of my gaming is I can be very like ADHD with my gaming. Is I will get to the final dungeon, the final boss, the final like whatever it is, and for whatever reason I will switch games right at that moment.
Yep.
And so Dirge of Cerberus, it's a 12 chapter game, and I have gone to the beginning of chapter 11. And I quit playing the game for whatever reason it was, like 10 years ago or whenever it was that I played the game. So I've been replaying it, and I finally got back to the point where I was. And I purposely, even like when I played the game in this second playthrough did not try to grab like all of the extra like memory capsules and stuff like that, because it's like, hey, I know I have all of these on my other account because I'm 100% completionist kind of guy.
Mhm.
So I finally hit the point where I am in my original game, and now I have like swapped over to my original game, and I'm going to continue the final 2 chapters of the game to get the 100% completion and the full story and like all of that sort of stuff. But on top of not only playing the Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, is I of course have gone down the rabbit hole of, you know, the Wikipedia or the Final Fantasy pedia or whatever you call it, of like, here's all of the information on the Genova project. Here's
Oh,
all of the
yes.
information on like because not only do I want to understand the story that I'm currently playing, but I want to know all of the information from Final Fantasy VII, which I recently played on mobile, because you can download on like Apple and
Oh, really?
stuff like that. Yeah, they have ports of all of the Final Fantasy games, and I recently just beat Final Fantasy VII. Well, I shouldn't say recently. This was actually probably a year ago that I beat it. But yeah, I'm going through and I'm like getting all aspects of the story. I've never played Crisis Core and things like that, and so I have Final Fantasy Advent Children on DVD. So
Same.
I just
Oh,
I love that
Brett
movie.
watched it too many times.
Brett
Not enough
introduced
times.
me.
So good. And like, and playing Vincent, first of all, if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, there are 2 optional characters, Vincent and Yuffie. And if you haven't unlocked them, Vincent, even though like his character in terms of like power is relatively weak, he is the coolest
So cool.
Final Fantasy character ever. And he gets his own game with Dirge of Cerberus, and like I have absolutely enjoyed the second playthrough, and I'm excited to truthfully get technically you can't get 100% completion on normal mode. You have to play hard mode in order to get it, but I'm excited to get, 99% completion on the game by playing through, and that's what I have been doing when things are slow at work, contrary to what my wife believes that I'm doing at work, which is actually trying to make money and put food on our table. But in reality, I'm playing through all of my old nostalgia games. I've done Donkey Kong 64. I've done Mario 64. I've done Diddy Kong Racing. I've done all of the GTAs from 3, including Vice City Stories, Liberty City Stories, all of that sort of stuff. I've been doing all of that on my spare time. Couple hours here and there every day. I've been playing Dirge of Cerberus, and it has been so much fun. And I love Final Fantasy so much. It's my favorite franchise of all time. So that is my story. Is I've been playing Dirge of Cerberus, and I finally am almost
gonna
about
do
ready to
it.
complete the game for the first time, which
That's
I've never
so
done.
exciting.
Yes,
Dude, pre-congratulations, man. That's awesome.
I'm excited to see how it ends.
Take a picture when you beat it. Send it to us.
Will do. Will do.
Hell yeah. You got a story for us, Russ?
Oh yeah, I was yes, I do actually. I'd forgotten that I had thought of one. Sorry, I just built my first ship.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, I decided I wanted to go to the swamp because I need stone to build what I want to build. Anyway, aside from that, so it's actually a Conan Exile story.
Hell yeah,
So,
let's do it.
Yes.
I'm playing Conan Exiles, and I had decided I was gonna, because every once in a while you get bored and you're like, I'm just gonna go explore, even though you're very under level, and you're like, let's see what happens.
Mhm.
So I'm running around. I'm naked because I know that I'm probably gonna die, and I've just got like some basic stuff with me, and I'm just kind of running around the map because I'm trying to see, what all's there, where is it, where am I going, that kind of stuff. And so I come up over like this. I was on a cliff because this was also a reason I was naked, because then I could just climb up stuff. That's one thing that I wish Valheim had, where you could climb. So I climb up, I'm on this cliff, and I come looking down, and I see, like, it's obviously a spider.
Ugh.
But I'm very, very, very far away from this spider, and I can see all its 8 legs and everything in detail. So I'm
That's
like,
a big ass spider.
that's a big, big spider. So this was when I first. It was when I first started playing. So I was trying to get Elmer to play and one of our other friends, Nick, to play. And so I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to him. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go and see, like, maybe because a lot of things, especially in the early days of Conan Exiles, like, you could probably chip away at something over a prolonged period of time because, like, some of them weren't terribly fast or things like that. So I went up to this thing, I like sneak up behind it, and I'm like, my goal is I'm gonna stay behind this thing and then just kind of whack it and move around and keep to the back of it. So I come up to this thing, and I'm like, and I guess in my head, like, I have this image of like smacking a cow on the rear end, right?
Oh yeah, get on,
Yeah.
get on, little girlie.
This thing whips around so fast, and I'm like, oh. And I like saw that I had like there was no damage done to it. And it, like, as it turns around, it clips me, and all my life is gone. And I'm like, so I run, and this thing chased me. It had to have chased me like halfway across the map as it's like running behind me. And so I just imagine, every once in a while you turn around to see how close the thing is behind you, and it's like
right
so
there.
just imagine being chased by a giant spider across the desert.
No,
as a naked man, just
Like getting with the loafers.
yeah, you've ruined any chance of me playing that game now. Spiders that big? Nope, I'm good. I'll play something
Yeah,
else.
that
Thanks.
is terrifying.
I choose life.
Shelly!
Shelly.
Oh my god! Hell yeah! Did you get to your endpoint safely, or did it get you eventually?
I think it killed me.
Probably.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure it killed me, but that's okay. I mean, I was preparing to die anyway.
So
by being naked.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's what I do all the time. I'll just go outside and sit there naked and prepare. Anyway,
As one does.
yeah. So as for myself, so the other night, as Hertel mentioned, I was streaming Final Fantasy 14, which is their big MMO, right? And I've been talking about it recently. I've been having so much fun being back in that game. God, it's so good. And as I'm getting to the newer like when I played it in 2013, I was like, man, this is stuff I've never seen in an MMO. And they just keep hitting it out of the park. So there, you got your dungeons, right? You got your raids, and there's these things called trials, right? Which is where you're fighting against, basically think of like summons from other Final Fantasy, games and whatnot. And you bring down Bahamut or, whatever to just shit on the enemy, right?
Shiva, Ifrit,
Shiva, Ifrit, yep. All those are in the game. Fought them, killed them. I'm the best. But so you're literally fighting them as a boss, and it's my most favorite content in the game. The fights are always interesting, intricate, and have super cool mechanics to them. And so it was this not side quest, but it wasn't the main storyline. I'm like, I'm going to go check out what happens here. And that's what led me to that dungeon you saw me do. This dungeon that wasn't attached to the main story. I was like, what? And so then I get to this trial, and it's this like white tiger that like wants me to beat the evil out of it, right? And I'm like, all right, sick. It's like it's gonna go crazy. It's a whole backstory that does the dungeon and everything. But the basis of it is, hey, this energy is feeding off me. If you don't do something about it, I'm gonna go crazy and murder everything in the world, right? I'm like, sick, yeah, I'll punch you in the face to get evil out of you. All good, This tiger is clean. So the fight starts, right? It's a full party. The 8 people, I queue in there randomly. Usually when it's a trial, because there's so many things going on, huge mechanics. I don't want to let anyone down, anxiety also. And so I'll go watch a video and know what I'm about to witness, right? My chat had talked me into going, hey, no, just do it blind. Just do it blind. So I'm like, sick. All right, I'll I'll just jump in there. We'll see what happens for the best, right? And so, it's this white tiger that suddenly becomes this like 20-foot muscly white tiger looking dude, and his whole right arm is the rest of the tiger's body and its head. And I'm like, what the hell's happening? So the fight starts, and there's all these beautiful things going on. Stuff to get away from, dots landing on people you got to move away from, lines in the ground you got to get away. Half the arena is about to get blown up. You got to quickly charge around and jump behind them. All these things we're doing as a team, and it was so exhilarating to never have watched it and like, move around, as it goes. And this is all stuff that like is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's super fun to do, but it's not something like brand new that I hadn't seen before, right? So about halfway through the fight, right, we punch this thing in the face super hard. It turns back into the tiger form and throws us all in the air. And this like quick action of it happens where we're hitting keys like you're playing Spider-Man, and someone's throwing trash cans at him, and you're quick triangle, circle, square to get around stuff, right? And so that happens to save ourselves, and then we end up, this is in an MMO, in a boss fight. We're falling through the sky in a top-down view, and he's underneath us shooting globs of fire. And so you're actually like using your keys to float around to get out of the way of this fire, while he then is creating lines where he's flying through the arena, blast people out, or making whirlwinds. You got to fly to the middle of it and not get sucked up and die. And the whole time I'm just screaming, this is an MMO. I've never seen this before. It was incredible. They did it again. And the rest of the fight was like rinse and repeat, doing all this cool shit and getting thrown in the air. And I was in love. It was so cool. And I'm still an expansion behind, so I can't wait to see like the next mechanic I'm going to run into. But yeah, that game blows me away constantly. Mechanics that I've never seen. I don't see often in single player games, let alone a massive multiplayer online game. And that's my story.
I love it. I love it.
It was so
fantasy.
God, it was so good.
The greatest game franchise of all.
It's so good. I put it on YouTube if anyone wants to watch that fight. It was nuts.
I'll go back and watch it.
All right, hell yeah. Yeah, well, I think, anything else from you, Russ? Hertel, anything else from you, brother?
I've had a great time.
I've had a wonderful time, man.
This has been phenomenal.
You're great, Russ.
Well, I know that.
Hell yeah.
I told my wife earlier, I'm like, which by the way, you're an hour ahead of me, but I was like, just so you know, this is probably going to last till 2 a.m. And she goes, 2 a.m.? And I'm like, yeah, Fudd's a glorious human being, and we can talk video games all night long.
What's the thing? We didn't even, I thought Final Fantasy would be the big subject. We never even really got to it.
We talked Apex for a little bit. We talked Valhalla and Conan. I mean, I can still talk Final Fantasy, and I can even keep it short. But
I think we should still do a whole episode like that. So we'll bring you back. Don't worry.
Okay, we'll do it.
That's a series that's been around long enough.
About Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's been around since gaming practically began. So
right,
that's a whole episode waiting to happen.
1985 Final Fantasy 1.
And we have a new one coming out. We have an expansion for 14. We got 15 coming out soon. It's still rocking.
16. 15's out.
You're right.
Yeah,
16.
15 came out 10 years ago. 15
was the car one. Yeah.
Yeah, 16's coming out sometime soon.
Yeah, soon.
I will say this. If we're going to say anything about Final Fantasy, can I just say, I wish wholeheartedly that they would just go back to the turn-based battle royale system, or not battle royale, because as
I disagree.
Cinematic as 15 was, it was so simplistic. Here's the way I played 15, truthfully, and I haven't beaten it yet. I think I'm only chapter 3, and I think there's 15 chapters in that game. But the game is set up to the point where you earn your XP whenever you rest. And so my philosophy was, okay, I'll just go around and kill absolutely everything that I can until I use up all of my heals, all of my tents, all of my potions, so on and so forth. and then I'll just collect the XP to the point where I am so powerful going into level or like chapter 4 that I'm one hitting every single enemy. And it took all of the challenge out of it for me because I'm a grinder. Final Fantasy, every game that they have is a grind type of game. Final Fantasy 15 is so focused on, oh yeah, we want you to feel like it's constant evolving action. It's like, well, it's not constant when I'm one-shotting every single enemy. And so for me, Final Fantasy 15 kind of sucked. Final Fantasy 13 kind of sucked. The last good game I think they had was, 10 and 12. Anxious to see what they do with Final Fantasy 16, and I'll just leave it at that.
This gonna be, dude. I'm excited for them to go back to the actual fantasy side of the roots in the name. It's gonna be good.
Yes.
I hope they stay with the action, though. Personally,
Yeah.
I am not a big fan of the turn-based.
I love turn-based. Final Fantasy, in my opinion, Final Fantasy 7, while everybody loves that game, Final Fantasy 9 is the pinnacle of the series. That is my opinion.
I can see that.
You have your classes, you have your thief, you have your white mage, you have your black mage, you have your your tank type of guy with Steiner, all of your other stuff. And the story's great, the graphics are great. I love Final Fantasy 9. That's my personal favorite one of the series, even though 7's the one that gets the most clout. So there we go.
Yeah,
there's
I like that.
my brief Final Fantasy overview.
I dig it. Question in the chat coming in real quick. Just if you guys are down to answer this. The good old F-15 versus the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Talking about jets here. Which one do you prefer?
Yeah.
You look at the F-15, right? It's considered one of the most successful fighters of all time, right?
Yeah,
Over 100 aerial dogfight victories. I don't think it's lost ever. Operates in all weather conditions, right?
Hey, why don't you share your screen to see if you're on Wikipedia or not?
I'm not.
Yeah, I just saw that white window disappear.
This is all off the top of my head, right?
I'll be honest,
This
I
is
have
from
no
my-
idea
I'm
what you're
s-
talking about.
I'm speaking from my heart, right? And sure, one could say the F-16 is cheaper, lighter, designed with an emphasis on ease of maintenance and maneuverability, but it's a less powerful aircraft.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you want a fighter jet, you want it to be more powerful. Sure, the twin engine in the F-15 was rough to work on, very costly, but damn, that sucker was classic.
Uh-huh.
I gotta tell you, just as a personal opinion, F-15 just sounds way cooler than F-16. I think it pales in comparison, personally.
There we go.
The F-15 is the way to go. That's it. If you want to have a 16, have a sweet 16 birthday. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Do that. If you want to fly
Jeez.
fighter jets, it's F-15 all the way.
All the way.
Just suck on
Imagine
the
a
F-15.
less powerful
These
aircraft.
nuts.
I'm just saying, 16 is always better than 15. I mean,
What?
you can drive when you're 16. What can you do when you're 15? Get a learner's permit?
Yeah, and that's such an exciting learner's permit was hype as fuck, dude.
Says the guy who, how did this stream start? Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Yeah, because 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
There
just
you
saying
go.
it's a
F-16 equals
classic.
cannon fodder. F-15 is America's aircraft. Statistics don't lie. Thank you.
America.
Hurdle.
America wins every time. Here.
Plug away, dude. Your podcast, your stream, Twitter, all that stuff, man. Hit us with everything.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen of the stream, I'm going to look directly in the camera. We're even going to turn the hat backwards so you know I'm serious.
This will be good.
Okay. Apex Arenas meeting. Follow it on any and all podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcasts. That way you can leave a 5-star review. If you leave a 5-star review, I make sure to read it on every single episode. If you have a question, I make sure to answer it. So anything you have, it doesn't even have to be about Apex. I don't care. Ask me anything, as long as it's borderline appropriate, I will. And borderline is a very gray area.
100%.
I will answer it on the podcast. But yeah, go ahead and leave a 5-star review, drop a follow, drop a subscription if you want to support
Get
the
back to
show.
your
There's
microphone real
links
quick.
there. Oh God, I'm sorry. I was so into the camera.
I know. I was like, no one can hear you, Herd.
We'll put the microphone here. That way I can look at the camera. I play to the camera. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So we got the Apex Arenas meeting. Go ahead and check that out on all podcasting platforms. You can join us on the Discord. We're not hard to find. I'm sure you can search Apex Arenas meeting. I don't really know how Discord works. I'm kind of Discord stupid, but it's fine. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter at Hertel3k, Xbox as well if you decide to find me on there, or if you search for me on Apex, it's Hertel3k just on Xbox. So if there's a Hertel3k PlayStation or a Hertel3k PC, not me, somebody posting as me, but that's okay. I appreciate the clout. Otherwise, you can find me on Instagram at Apex Arenas Meeting. We're over on there, but all in all, we had our first ever Apex Arenas community tournament, FUD. That was an absolute blast. I loved having you on there. I'm excited. Honestly, I'm not the type of person that usually goes back and rewatches stuff or re-listens to things, but that I might go back and watch because that was an absolute hype stream. Loved everything. Other than, the last like 5 minutes.
I don't want
of
to
the
talk
actual
about the
gameplay.
last.
I know.
Oh my God.
But thanks, Curb Stomper. But
I'll never forget you for the worst reason.
Exactly. But yeah, we will definitely have to do it again, FUD. I'm anxious to just play video games with you again.
Yeah.
And Russell, the man, the myth, the legend, Russell with the dots in mouth, which by the way, I'm just gonna make a point here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if this upsets the stream. I hate pretzels.
Ooh.
And here's the deal. If I wanted to eat stale, salty bread, I would just fry bread in my toaster and dump a bunch of salt on it. So pretzels, they suck.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, they suck. But it's okay because Russell and I, we're going to squat up. We're going to play Apex Arenas. We're going to have a hype time. Check it out. Within like 2 weeks, that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give us a 2-week timeline. We're going to make it happen. Russ and Hertel going crazy in arenas. It's going to be a blast. It's going to happen. Russ, I'm going to add you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. We will set aside time and we will do it. But that's all for me. FUD, thank you so much for having me on. Russell, thank you. You're just a glorious man. Every time FUD has had you on his previous tournaments with the Apex tournaments, I've loved all of your commentary personally. I was very excited when I saw that you were joining this podcast tonight because I am a secret Hardo Russell fan for sure. No questions asked.
Russ, someone in the world likes you.
He's number 7 on people I would go gay for.
I'll take. I mean, top 10.
Yeah,
Top 10.
Absolutely.
He is top 10, no questions asked. The only thing holding him down is those goddamn Dots pretzels right now.
Look. All right. I normally don't like pretzels either. Like, not a lot. I mean, like, I'll eat them.
You're literally shoving the bag in your mouth.
I'm not
You
really
have no idea.
big fan.
If you get a chance, you need to get some Dots and try them out because
I love Dots.
I have them. They're in my lazy Susan
little
at
gummy.
home.
Yeah.
they're so good.
Stale bread with salt. It's fine.
Delicious. Hey,
And-
Russell,
and
where can
other
people find you?
Nowhere.
All right.
Let's be honest. No. You can find me on Twitter at drjex. That's JEX0725. I post somewhat on there. It depends on how good I'm feeling, I guess. I don't know. Usually I'll post artwork or things like that. Nothing too great. And then you can find me of course, on the Discord, Jackal72590, where I mostly lurk in D&D sessions, although usually, depending on which game I'm playing, I'm usually lurking in those sessions, usually on Elmer's, his own personal Discord, but occasionally on ours as well. And yeah, feel free to hit me up if you have any questions, comments, cursings. Let me know.
Mostly cursings, yeah. Absolutely.
Mostly cursings.
Well, thank you.
Or not Fudd. Jesus. Oh my God. Cut that out.
Won't happen.
Russell, yeah, I know. Russell, you are glorious on your Twitter profile picture.
Oh yeah, well, it's my wife. She makes me look really.
I'm just saying, like, oh, so
It's true.
handsome.
She
Russ,
is a
your wife
beautiful,
wasn't at
beautiful
that wedding, and you looked incredible there. So give yourself some props.
woman. I don't know.
I do know.
I gave him a follow just now live
Ooh,
on the podcast.
What?
yeah. If you follow me, I will follow you back.
As
Right on.
all follows should be.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for episode 108 of Just Some Guardians. When we do the show, we are live. That's twitch.tv/JustSomeGuardians, Friday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Get in here. Give us questions. Give us comments. Make fun of Russell's face. Anything you want to do, we're here for it. We love it. We crave it. We cherish it. You can email us at JustSomeGuardians
make fun
at...
of my face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to do, honestly. The jokes write themselves. You can email us justsomiguardians@gmail.com, like we had a couple lovely emails tonight. Questions, concern, just nice things you want anyone to hear out there. It really touches us in any way you want, you know. Mostly just go to the website, justsomeguardians.com. Embedded in there is the Twitch. Embedded in there is our YouTube. Embedded in there is the audio player for any way you want to encompass our content. As for myself, I'm ELMMERFUDD. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those places at ELMMERFUDD Games. Double M, double D.
D. Yeah.
Russell.
I was late.
Actually, I'm curious. Hertel,
Yeah.
you say you're
Yes.
a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do the outro?
Ooh.
It's fine if you can't.
No, I do listen, but oh God.
We've only ever had one person
Getting
able to
that-
do it, so don't worry. Don't sweat it.
No, I know. Now that you're putting me on the spot, no, I have. Here's the deal. I have gone back through, and while I certainly have not listened to every episode, I have
Yeah, we
picked
don't-
out the
don't
episodes
do
that
that
I've
to yourself.
enjoyed in terms of like what the title is. So, for example, your Outplayed episode I enjoyed, the PlayStation 2 like nostalgia episode. Actually, most of your nostalgia episodes I very much enjoyed. I literally just listened to Just Glad to Be Here like 2 days ago. But yeah, I could not tell you the
all
outro
right.
if you asked.
Do you know who
So-
could do that, though?
Russell.
Not
Take
me.
us out.
Join us next week on Just Some Guardians for mutual chaos and utter incompetency.
There it is. And hey, listener, look inside yourself. We all have a little Shelly in there.
Shelly! Shelly!